Hi guys, welcome to another live stream. Hope you have all had a good day. As you will all know, if you've been watching me, the preview thumbnail, this is going to be an Amicus Anthology themed live stream. But having said that, I'm going to be covering, as well as the Amicus Anthology movies, I'm going to be covering anthology movies from other studios as well. Yeah. All right then. So just get myself sorted, guys, with the comments here. Just bear with me a second. Nice. Yeah, so I brought a couple of movies along with me here, which I'm going to discuss later on, and also a book as well. So stay tuned for that. So okay then. So yeah, so say it's going to be about Amicus and horror anthology movies in general. Right, have you got a favourite horror anthology movie? Let me know. Be very interested in it. That your picks and that. I will get some comments in now. Right, okay. Gerard's here. You're right, mate. Thanks for dropping by. Good evening, Alan. Yeah, good evening to you. Stephen is here. Hi, Alan and everyone. You okay, mate? Thanks for dropping by. Brian Gilson. You okay, Brian? Hi, Alan. How are you? I'm fine, thanks, Brian. Hope you are as well. I really enjoyed the Hammer stream. Oh, thanks very much, mate. Yeah, I enjoyed doing it. And yeah, it's great when you do like a specific theme, like as if you get all like-minded people join in, you can have a real hearty discussion. Yeah. Brian says hi everyone. Gerard is a movie fan. I had to look it up what the subject was, right? Also called portmanteau as well. Tony Crosby's here. You okay, Toe? Good evening, Macy. Nice to see you again there, Toe. Thanks for dropping by, Mace. Chestnut Seb 70 here. You okay, Mace? Thanks for dropping by. Good evening, Alan and everyone. Pete's here. You're right, Pete. Oh, great live stream last night, by the way. Yeah. Evening, Alan. Hope you are well, mate. I'm fine, thanks, Pete. Hope you are as well. James Townsend's here. You all right, James? Good evening, Alan. Great to see you back. Oh, yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, yeah. Kyle McCready. You okay, Kyle? Hi, Alan. Hope you're good, mate. Looking forward to the stream. Oh, thanks very much, Kyle. Yeah, I am as well. Yeah, as I say, like as I said before, it's great when you pick a specific theme and that, and you get a lot of like-minded people all coming in and chatting about it and that. So hopefully it should be a good night. Yeah, and I'm going to show you a couple of things later on as well, and we can discuss them relating to anthology movies in general. Richard Brown, you okay, Richard? Best Amicus from Beyond the Grave, non-Amicus Creep Show. I love From Beyond the Grave. Yeah, that's the one with Peter Cushing, isn't he? He's the proprietor, and he puts this Yorkshire accent on, doesn't he? Yeah, he's in charge of the shop and that. And oh yeah, so many great stories in that. I love the one with Donald Pleasant's one, Matches, Lighters. That's a great one. That. And the one with Ian Ogilvy where he buys the door and that, that big antiquated door. And he erects in his house and that, and he opens the door one night, and he leads into this room, doesn't it, with this weird man from years, weird man, like he's like a French king, isn't he, all in blue and that. Yeah, it's a great one, that. As his Creep Show. James Townsend is saying, Alan, I've just purchased Tales That Witness Madness. Is it any good? That's a fantastic one, that. Yeah, I won't spoil for you by saying too much about it, but that's a great one. I think you particularly like the Uncle Albert one. Yeah, that's a great one. That one of my favorites actresses is in that, the lovely Susie Kendall. Yeah, great movie. Brian Gilson is saying my favorite Amicus film is The House of Drip Blood. That's one of my favorites as well. Brian, absolutely loved that one. Yeah, especially like the one with Christopher Lee. He has his daughters, like a daughter of a witch. Her mother was a witch, wasn't she? Yeah. It's a fantastic one. And the one with Den O'Malley's in with he's the horror writer, isn't he? And the character comes to life. Oh, that's a great one. I love that one. Just excuse me, guys. I'm just adjusting the light here. It's just flickering a little bit. Right. Okay. Ricky Kilby is saying, hello, Alan. I presume, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Ricky. Hope you are as well, mate. Yeah. Terrible is flickering, guys. Hang on. I'll just adjust this. Just bear with me a sec. See if that's any better. Yeah, I'm just sort of like adjusting my ring light here, and that annoying flickering. It's a nuisance. Gina Walpole is here. You okay, Gina? Hi, Alan. From Beyond the Grave was my favourite anthology film as well. It's a great one, that, Gina. Yeah, I watched that many times, and that, and I love the weird opening theme as well, because it's sort of like it pans through this graveyard, doesn't it? Which I think it's Highgate Cemetery, if my memory serves me correctly. Oh yeah, real weird and that. And I love the way it opens from the graveyard into the shop and that, you know. Well, a little street where the shop is situated and that. Oh yeah, it's a fantastic movie, that. And Peter Cushing, as always, is really on the money in that one. Yeah. James Townsend says, would you recommend From Beyond the Grave? On, oh, definitely, James. Yeah. If you love your horror anthologies as much as I do, I would highly recommend From Beyond the Grave, one of the greatest horror anthology movies that has ever been made, in my opinion. And in a minute, I'm going to show you some lesser known. They're not Amicus movies, but the ones what you guys might have heard of. I'll show you them in a minute. And then I've got I must say, I've got a turkey here as well, which I watched last night, but all be revealed in a minute. Yeah. Okay. James is saying, what Amicus film is your favourite? Oh, I've got many favourites, James, but if I was pushed, I would definitely say Tales from the Crypt 1972, because I think that in my opinion, is the perfect horror anthology movie. It's got a great frame and story with Ralph Richardson as the crypt keeper. Excuse me. It's got a stellar cast, and every story is good. You know, usually in some of these horror anthology movies, there's one or 2 weak ones, but that is it. Oh, I can't fault that movie at all. Tales from the Crypt. So yeah, if it was pushed, I would definitely say Tales from the Crypt. And every time I discuss that movie, I always think of the one with Poor Arthur Grimstad, you know, Peter Cushing, where he's hounded by his horrible neighbor over the road, and now hounded to suicide. And of course, well, if you happen to see in the movie, I won't tell you what happens, but oh boy, does he get his revenge. Yeah, great film. Tony Crosby, yeah, From Beyond the Grave is my favourite. Love Cushing's Yorkshire accent. Yeah. Oh, he's great in that, isn't he? Yeah, I love From Beyond the Grave. Kyle McCready says, The House That Dripped Blood is one of my favourites, as was filmed just around the corner from me in Weybridge. Oh, right, that's interesting. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that house in that movie and that. And the fella who's in the framing story is I think if my memory serves me correctly, I think his name's Stoker. That's like a nod to Dracula, of course. Yeah, he's an estate agent called, is it AJ Stoker? Yeah, oh yeah, I love The House That Dripped Blood. One of my all-time favourites, Amicus Horror Anthology movies. Watched it many times. Brian's saying, that's great, Kyle, yeah. Richard Brown says, great atmosphere, all the Amicus Portmanteau films had. They did indeed, yeah. I've got fond memories, Richard, of growing up watching those on me, you know, first on my old black and white telly, and then later on when I got my colour one, you know, oh, fantastic, yeah, great. Brian Gilson says, I also like Dr. Terror's House of Horrors with Peter Cushing. That's a great one as well. Yeah, where he's on the train and that. Yeah. Oh, that's a fantastic one, that. I think that was the first, if my memory serves me correctly, I think that was the first Amicus Horror Anthology movie. Yeah. I love that one. Roy Castle's on that as well, isn't he? Yeah, the voodoo segments. Yeah, great movie. Tony Crosby says, I love the story, The Man Who Collected Poe from Torture Garden. Torture Garden's another good one. Yeah, Burgess Meredith plays the devil, doesn't he? Framing story, yeah. Peter Cushing, of course, is in it. Like, he's got all these works of Poe and that. And Jack Palance and that. Yeah, great story. Right. Scroll up, guys. Just got a swig. I'll show you those movies in a minute, guys. Anyway, not what I brought along with me. But oh yeah, love me horror anthology movies. An actual fact, I must say to you all, I've just sent away for a couple more by relatively unknown companies. One about a late night radio DJ something. He's like in the framing story, and I think there's about 8 stories in it. And he's sort of like, from what I can gather, he reads the stories out, you know, over the radio and that late at night. And of course, like, you know, the usual, you know, the story starts and that, and then you've got the next one and that. So I'm looking forward to watching that. And there's another 2 as well I've ordered as well. I think something to do with Tales from the Grave. I think one of them's called. Yeah. But anyway, I'll most probably do a review of them once I've watched them. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I can't get enough of me horror anthology movies. I've watched so many good ones in my life, but I've also watched so many bad ones. Yeah. As you'll see in a particular one I'm going to show soon. Stay tuned for that. Richard Brown says, love the brain eating cat and torture garden. Yeah, that's a great one, that. Yeah, one of my favourites, that one. They should still need, are you lonely looking for, oh, well, we don't need this crap tonight, do we? Bear with me a minute. You always get one nutcase, don't you, spoiling the party, infiltrating your chat. Right, Carl McCready, no one has mentioned Asylum, great film. I love Asylum. I've got the poster there. That's a great movie, that. Yeah, they're all in it. Peter Cushing, all the other, Britt Eklund. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Herbert Lom. Yeah, Richard Todd, Robert Powell. Yeah, oh, that's a fantastic movie, that Asylum. Yeah, great framing story as well. Robert Powell. He's got a guess, hasn't he, who Dr. Starr is. Yeah, I love Asylum. Yeah, fantastic one. Just get rid of this goon, guys. Won't be a sec. You'd always get one. There's always one or two or three. They must leave, as I said before, they must leave very, very sad lives, you know. Yeah. Right. Brian is saying, is the skull an Amicus film? Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, that's a great one, that. Based on the skull of the Marcus de Sade. Yeah, great movie, that one. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Tony Crosby says, yes, it is, Brian. Yeah. Carl McCready, no one has mentioned Asylum, great film. Oh yeah, as I just said before, that's one of my all-time favourite movies, that, Kyle. Yeah, it's a great movie, Asylum. Yeah. Right. Brian Gilson, thanks, Tony. Kyle McCready, also, I know not an anthology film, but shout out to I Monster, great film from Amicus. That's a great one, that, I Monster. Yeah, Christopher Lee plays like the, well, he is Dr. Jekyll in all but name, isn't he? It's Marlowe and Blake, isn't it? Yeah, and rather than Jekyll and Hyde, it's Marlowe and Blake. I love I Monster. That's a great one, that. Peter Cushing's in it as well, isn't he? Yeah, love that one. That's one of my all-time favourites, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde films. Yeah, or you can't beat. You got Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in a movie. You know, you're in for a treat. Richard Brown says Peter Cushing as the Satanist in Asylum was a beautiful, sad performance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. The one where he wants to say the tailor to make him a suit for his son, doesn't he? Yeah, and he's got this weird parchment, hasn't he? And the tailor, Peter Cushing, gives strict instructions to make the suit exactly how it's laid out, and that's a great one. That, yeah, fantastic. Tony Crosby says, yeah, to Brian Gilson, the skull is great. Yeah, I'd certainly echo that. Gina says, I love the Monster Club too. That's a great one with Vincent Price. Yeah, yeah, the Monster Club. Yeah, fantastic movie. I like the segment with B.A. Robinson in, you know, who had a hit with Bang Bang in 1979. Yeah, love B.A. Robinson. Yeah, my favorite B.A. as I said before, my favorite B.A. Robinson song is To Be or Not to Be. But oh yeah, love the Monster Club. Yeah, it's sort of like a nod to our Chetwynd Hayes, isn't it? I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He wrote a lot of short stories and that, you know, set in Britain. He was a great writer, John Carradine. I haven't watched it for a while, but I believe John Carradine plays our Chetwynd Hayes, doesn't he? My memory serves me correctly. Yeah, fantastic. Whenever I think of the Monster Club, I always think of the nightclub scene, and that would be, you know, with B.A. Robertson. Yeah. Chestnut F7, Asylum is great. I love Peter Cushing. Is the proprietor in? Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, by God, the memories are flooding back tonight, aren't they? Yeah, fantastic. Christian Bell says, love them old films. They're being Vampire Circus out special edition. I've seen that about Vampire Circus. Yeah, yeah, it looks a great one, that. Yeah, so if there's extra features on it, what I haven't gotten the one of, you know, the edition I've got, I might just be tempted to treat myself for Crimbo. Yeah. Carl McCready says, and now the screaming starts. Yeah, brilliant film. Peter Cushing and Herbert Lom, can't go wrong. Yeah, that's a good one, that. Yeah. Tony Crosby, the Arthur Grimstein character, makes me say, oh yeah, a very, very sad one, that. See, this is what I mean. This is, guys, you know when I say about horror movies, a lot of horror movies now, they haven't got like pathos or feeling or proper depth of sentiments. that is a good example, that Grimsdyke story, about how to combine pathos and sadness with horror. And it's a great brew. You know, you can't go wrong when you know, you don't just have the horror, them killing people and that. You put a little bit of sentiment and pathos in that, which works for movies like, well, that one, the Arthur Grimsdyke one, works for Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr., the Wolfman. You put that bit of pathos in and sentiments, it really gives the horror that extra boost. Yeah, definitely. One of Peter Cushing's finest performances, in my opinion. Richard says From Beyond the Grave was also based on an R. Chetwynd Hayes stories. Yeah, yeah. Oh, he wrote loads of R. Chetwynd Hayes. Yeah, I'd love to see somebody do one day. Somebody do a big volume of every single story what he wrote in that R. Chetwynd Hayes. I know they're scattered here and there in various horror anthologies and that, but I'd love somebody to do that. Brian Gilson said, I agree, Tony. It has a great atmosphere. Yeah. All right, then, guys. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a couple of movies now, which, as I said before, you may not be familiar with, but the great movies. What I'm going to show you, there's not one dud among these. So here we go. So I've got them here. I'm just going to show you them now, guys. Right. Okay. So the first one's a Blu-ray, and that is called The Mortuary Collection. Every Corpse Has a Story. It's a fantastic modern horror anthology. You know, I can highly recommend it. And there's the back there, guys. I won't talk too much about each one. I'll just show you. I'll just give you an idea. You know, and there's the slip. The reversible. Well, hasn't really got any reversible artwork. No, it's just the same, guys. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, it's got slightly different reversible artwork, but that's a great one. That The Mortuary Collection, not long been out. It's a Shudder original as well. So that's the first one, The Mortuary Collection. The second anthology one I'd like to show you is, this is a fantastic one, this. And it's very, very rare now, guys. I was very, very lucky getting this one. I really was. It stars Brian Murphy as, he was in George and Mildred. He's in the framing story. He's a gravedigger. And it's got 4 horror stories. As I say, he's in the framing story. And it's called Grave Tales. Sorry about the glare, guys. It's the ring lights, yeah. So you'll be very, very lucky to get a copy of this now, guys. It's very rare and that, you know, it's a real rare movie, but it's got a fantastic premise and that. You know, this guy, Brian Murphy, the character he plays, he's a gravedigger, and he tells different stories to this girl who goes into the cemetery and that. Oh, it's a fantastic, yeah. So if you're lucky, if you could manage to get that anywhere on the internet, count yourself very, very lucky, because it's a rare one. So that's Grave Tales. Okay, the next one's, this is an American one, but it's equally as good. It stars John Risser, and that's The House on Terror Tract. Basically, John Risser plays this, like, he's kind of a warped estate agent, and he's sort of like, he's trying to sell houses and that, you know, to this couple and that, but each house has got a dark story, a little bit like The House That Dripped Blood, you know, but it's a great one, that, especially the monkey, the demonic monkey, yeah, The House on Terror Tract, yeah, so that's another one I can highly recommend. Here's an old one starring Lon Chaney Jr. He plays Satan, and that's The Devil's Messenger. So there you go. That's another one. It's in black and white, like. So watch out for that one. Get it quite cheap on Amazon or eBay. The Devil's Messenger. This is a great one as well. Dead of Night. Got a great story in here called Bobby, about this little boy. Is what he dies or something. He drowns and that, and his mother's into the occult, and she tries to bring him back with horrific results. Very, very horrific results. So there you go. That's The Dead of Night. That's Patrick McNeese in that as well, out the Avengers. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, great one, Dead of Night. And a great Christmas one as well here, Holiday Hell, with Jeffrey Combs, again playing a shop proprietor, very much like Peter Cushing did in Beyond the Grave and that. So if you like Christmas horror anthologies, get that one, Holiday Hell. Right, okay. Now here's the turkey now. I'll just catch up with these comments, guys. I'll show you the turkey. Right. Christian Bell says, Alan, I really missed the BBC horror double bills in the 70s. Yeah. Bella Grace, yeah. Oh, yeah, I used to love watching them, yeah. They'd show a black and white one, wouldn't they? Then they'd show a coloured one more often than not, a Hammer one, yeah. Oh, it's all the nutcases back. Go and get a life, you sad sack. Brian Gilson, The Mortuary Collection is really good, yeah. Just get rid of this goon, guys. Won't be a minute. Just answer Richard. Is Holidays any good? Holidays is a fantastic movie, Richard. Yeah, it's a Christmas-themed horror anthology movie, and Jeffrey Combs, he plays this proprietor. This girl goes into the shop looking for a Christmas gift for a sister, and there's like all different items in the shop. And he says, "Oh, how about this one? That for instance, you get like a Santa Claus suit with blood on it." But I won't go on too much about it in case you haven't seen it. Well, you want to get it and see it for yourself, and that. It's a great one. Yeah. Get rid of this lunatic here. Don't as I say, they did have the better things to do. These sad sacks, you really would. I call them sad sacks. Right, okay. I'm going to show you that turkey now, guys. It came out this week on the 101 label, Agfar Films, and it's a horror anthology. It was actually shot on VHS, and it's called Scary Tales. Now, watch this last night. The first 2 stories were good, but well, to quote a line from a song, and then they go and spoil it all by doing something stupid like putting the bloody sword and sorcery movie in the third and final story, which was ridiculous. I think a big leap from the horror, right into bloody stupid sword and sorcery fantasy thing and that. So this will be going. I'm afraid this will be going on eBay. This cost me $14.99. This guy, so so bloody waste of money. This wasn't that. The picture's not very good either, because you can tell it's been shot on videotape. So yeah, so very, very disappointing. I don't know why they saw fit to put that last story in. It had no relevance at all to horror, So yeah, so as I say, this is going on eBay. So yeah, I've got a book there, guys. I'll show you it later on, relating to Tales from the Crypt and that. Yeah, so just get through these comments. Yeah, so but as I said before, if you any particular favourites, horror anthologies, Amicus or otherwise, let me know. Be very interested. I tell you what, I was disappointed with, guys. Not really a movie, like the TV series of Creepshow. I bought season 1 on Blu-ray, and the stories were awful. They really were. I'm just watching the second season now on Prime, and now there's been 1 or 2 good ones in that, but again, there's been a few turkeys as well. Have any of you guys seen the Creepshow TV series? What did you think of it? Do you share my view that the stories weren't much cop? Let me know. Oh, also, guys, as well, another TV horror anthology I was disappointed with, which I've got it on Blu-ray. I've mentioned the Night Gallery hosted by Rod Serling. Well, we've been watching season 2 all week, and God, guys, I'm not kidding. The stories were absolutely abysmal. Oh yeah, absolutely atrocious. Unlike the first one, season 1 of Night Gallery, but oh yeah, definitely not worth the money. So this will be going on eBay as well, I'm afraid. Tony says Scary Tales looks very cheaply made by the cover. Yeah, it's not much, To. It's nothing to write home about at all. I was very disappointed in it. Especially that last one that stuck out like a bloody sore thumb. That bloody sore. He's like what he was doing. He was like he was playing this computer game, and he got sucked in. He was looking for it was at level 21. He wanted to get to level 21. He couldn't get to level 21. All of a sudden, I think he goes to bed or something, and he wakes up and he's in level 21. He's in like this other world and that, and you've got this like old witchy character saying you are in level 21 and all that, and then you get all this barbarian nonsense and that. Oh yeah, it bored me senseless. It really did. Yeah, the first 2 stories were pretty gory. There was no holds barred on them, but that last one that just stuck out like a sore thumb. It was very, very incongruous. To the lined up against the other 2 stories and that. But oh yeah, they also had got a bonus film on it as well, called Darker Soul 1994, which is supposed to be like a follow-up to Scary Tales. But there's nothing like Scary Tales. It's about these 2 fellas going for getting different jobs and that. Not much was that. And I switched it off, guys. I was bored sick with it. Yeah. So but I'm getting back to this one here. If you can get this one here, it's a great little anthology. It's very underrated and that. And I was very, very lucky. I bought it directly from the company when it came out a few years ago. So if you can get this, consider yourself very, very lucky. It's a great little anthology, Grave Tales and that, set in a cemetery. Yeah, so watch out for that. Right, just catch up with the comments then, guys. Just bear with me a sec. Brian Gilson says, have you seen Trick or Treat? It's a really good anthology film. I've got that one, Brian. I've got that in my collection. Yeah, I've got the Scream Factory one of Trick or Treat. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Yeah, although I must say, I must say, I must be honest, I did not like that last one where he was. Oh, I haven't seen it for a while, but who was it? Who was the actor that was in that? Was it Brian Cox? He's chasing this. Is a Santa Claus or troll all around the house and that. Yeah, I haven't seen it for a while yet, but I remember him chasing this. It's either a Santa Claus or a troll or something. Is it the main the little fella that's in it that links all the stories? Yeah, and like me, guys, I can't remember everything about that one, but that was the worst one. But I love the other stories. Rock and Roll Hell Creepshow TV series was a series of missed opportunities. Yeah, didn't like it at all. Too many stories in each episode made it all feel rushed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I watched a movie the other night that was certainly rushed. You know, it was one it was on YouTube. Yeah, it was about this not a horror anthology, guys. It's just about this couple and that, you know, and the kids and that. They rent this house and that, and they find this Ouija board and that. To cut a long story short, the mother starts tampering with the Ouija board. She gets taken over. It doesn't really do all that much in it, guys, to be honest, and that. And what you think is leading up to a grand exorcism scene. The priest just says a couple of words and she's cured and just goes off then. Just see someone peering through the curtains. I thought that was a bloody short end and that, you know, I forget the name of it, but oh yeah, it was really, that really stood out that it was rushed. It really did, yeah. But they just seem to, some of these writers now, they don't care, do they? Yeah, it was really rushed in that, yeah, because normally with those exorcism films, it builds up to a big battle, doesn't it, between the priests and the, you know, the poor person that's possessed or strapped to the bed or whatever. But yeah, just went up. He just said a couple of things to her, you know, about the power of God and that, and she was cured. You know, barely lasted 5 minutes. The exorcism, yeah. Oh yeah, very, very rushed ending. Right. Kyle is saying the League of Gentlemen Christmas special was a great tribute to the 70s anthologies. I haven't seen that, Kyle, the League of Gentlemen. I'll have to check that out. Joseph Elliott says, "Hi, Alan. Hope you're well." I'm great. Thanks, Joseph. Hope you are too. Just got House of Drip Blood. Great movie. Oh, yeah, definitely. I absolutely love the House of Drip Blood. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. The great Christopher Lee, the great priest, you know, the late great Christopher Lee, the late great piece of cushion. Yeah, Ingrid Pitt's in it as well. John Pertwee with the infamous vampire cloak segments and that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the little nod he gives in that one to Christopher Lee and that. You know, I love the House of Drip Blood. Tony Crosby says, "I don't like Creepshow 3. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't get very good reviews, that Creepshow 3. I have seen it. I don't remember too much about it. It's years ago since I saw it. But from what I can remember, there was one or two. I think was there a vampire story in that? That was pretty good because I love my vampire stories, providing the vampires are scary. I do not like these slushy. I hate these slushy Twilight teen angst vampires. I really do. I think they've done a lot of damage then. I don't. What do you agree with me, guys, about these vampire? You know, these vampires now, they put a lot of slush in them, and the diluting the scare factor, which is a big mistake in my opinion. But yeah, you know, you've got to make a vampire scary. I mean, I've said this before, like in Bram Stoker's original novel, Dracula was anything but a teen heartthrob. He was a monster who, as he drank more blood, he was an old man at the start of the novel, but the more blood he drank, he became younger and more vibrant and more powerful, which is what Dracula should be. Yeah, not a sloppy teen angst, you know, pin-up. Yuck. Right. Just getting up on comments, guys. Just bear with me. Chestnut F7 is saying Vaults of Horror is a great anthology, yeah, and you get 5 stories famous as the Tom Baker one. The Tom Baker one's a great one where he's an artist, yeah. The part where he goes to the voodoo fella in the jungle and that, and he's got the pot, hasn't he? And you know, if Tom Baker wants voodoo to sort of like get his revenge on critics and that, and the fella, you know, the native, he said, you do not need doll, you're an artist. So basically Tom Baker puts his hands in the thing, doesn't he? The red hot you know, the boiling water and that gives him the power of voodoo to enable him to exact his revenge on those stuffy critics. Yeah, great one, that. I like the part with I like the framing story as well, where they go down in the lift, don't they? They end up in this room and that, and they just sit there talking about their dreams and that, the nightmares. That's great. Yeah, I like the Kurt Jurgens one and that. the Indian rope, where he wants the magic rope, doesn't he? He kills the girl, the charmer, and that. But something, it goes very, very wrong. Yeah. So, Richard Brown, did you ever see Dr. Terrible's House of Horrible with Steve Coogan? No. Is that? I presume that's a kind of a spoof, isn't it, of the Amicus portmanteau movies? Gina is saying, did anyone watch the spoof tribute series to Amicus anthology film called Dr. Terrible's House of Horrible? We just discussed that, haven't we? Yeah. It starred Steve Coogan. I really enjoyed it. I have, as I say, Gina, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Who the hell's this? I don't know. I'm not interested. Christian Bell, I've just got the brain by 101 Films, Alan, and the Mole Men. They bring out some good films, buddy. Scary Tales looks so think I'll get that Jeffrey Combs film. I like him, fella. Jeffrey Combs is a fantastic actor, Christian. And as I say, that Holiday Hell, it's definitely, if you like a good Christmas, if you like a good Christmas horror anthology, I think you will enjoy Holiday Hell. It's got a great twist at the end as well. Yeah, so yeah, fantastic. I'll most probably give this a watch again around Christmas. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of the best Christmas holiday portmanteau anthology movies I've ever seen. Yeah, great movie. Nice. Tony says it's Richard Brown. That was a great series. Yeah. Gina, to Richard Brown, beat me to it. Richard, beat you to it, Gina. Tony says, have you seen the series Inside Number 9? Brilliantly written. No, I haven't seen that. So no, I'll have to watch out for that one. There's a lot of quite a few horror TV series I've missed, guys. You know, like but some of these anthology ones and that, and the ones what you just mentioned and that. And yeah, there's quite a few I'll have to catch up on. Richard Brown, sorry, Gina. Gina to Richard Brown, great minds think alike. Yeah. Edward's here. You okay, Edward? Thanks for dropping by. Ian and Alan, hope you're well. Have you seen a movie called And Now the Screaming Starts? Yeah, it's a good one. That, yeah. That's the one with Herbert Lom and Peter Cushing, isn't it? Yeah, it's a great one. That, yeah. I always sometimes get confused. There's another one called Scream and Scream Again. Scream and Scream Again, isn't it? I always get confused with them. There's one where it's set in the modern day. It's Vincent Price is in it, and Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Yeah, but if it's the one you mean, I presume you mean the one with Herbert Lom. Is it Herbert Lom and Peter Cushing? It's like set in old-fashioned days and that, isn't it? What's the name in that? The girl that was in Connie, Stephanie Beacham. I presume that's the one you mean. Yeah. Right, guys, I'll just show you that book now. Now, this is, if you're a big fan of the EC horror comics and that, you want to know everything about them, even the Tales from the Crypt series, get yourself a copy of this book. It's an absolute treasure trove of the EC comics. It tells you the whole story from the 1950s and that, when they sort of like they were popular, and then the censors spoke the party by banning them and that. It's got everything. It's even got all the it's got every single cover of every single comic EC comics that was published. I'll just show you guys here. Just look at that. Can you see that? They did not have some lurid covers, didn't they? Yeah, fantastic. I absolutely love this book, and I thought I'd never get it at a reasonable price because, you know, every time I used to see it, it was near 80 quid and 70 quid and that. But I was lucky; I got it for a pretty reasonable price and that. So fantastic, yeah. All the actual covers they are, guys, from the 1950s of all the the EC horror comics and that. Yeah. Oh yeah. As I say, a lot of it. I was saying before, a lot of these the Amicus films, they got their ideas, from the EC horror comics and that. Oh, they were way ahead of the time. These guys, they really were. And some of the stories were really horrific. No holds barred with them. There you go. So as I say, if you love Tales from the Crypt, you've got to get yourself a copy of this. It's an absolute treasure trove. It really is. And there's the puppet from the series, the crypt, the chattering crypt keeper, the manic crypt keeper. Yeah, I've got the whole series as well on DVD. I'd love to see a Blu-ray. I'd love to see a Blu-ray of it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, the grisly creativity of William Gaines. Yeah, EC splatters America with an explosion of horror. So yeah, oh yeah, really pleased to have this book, guys. I really am. This where it all began, guys. The first, well, you might as well say horror comics and that, ghost stories and that. Yeah. So as I say, you know, if you look, there's Bill Gaines. So as I say, if you love your EC horror comics, you could do no worse than get yourself a copy of this. Tales from the Crypt, the movie, guys. And Ralph Richardson is the crypt keeper. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get the angle right with the camera. There he is, Ralph Richardson. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a fantastic book, this. Yeah. Well worth the money. Yeah. Tales from the Crypt. It's the official EC archive, the official archives, the complete history of EC Comics. Yeah. So this should be on the shelf of every fan of Tales from the Crypt and that. Yeah. Fantastic book. Right. I'm going to catch up now, guys, on the comments are building up here. So I'm going to catch up on them. Right. Brian says it's a great film. Is that the one starring Stephanie Beacham? Yeah, as I was saying before, I always get mixed up with them. Scream and Scream Again, and now the Scream. I think, and now the Screaming starts. That's the one with in the modern day, isn't it? With Vincent Price and Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Doesn't Christopher Lee play a government agent in that? I'm sure that's the one. And the other one you just mentioned before, Scream and Scream Again. That's the one with Peter Cushing in. It's set in the olden days. Is Ian Ogilvy in and now the Screaming starts? I can't remember, you know. It's ages since I saw that. Gina says to Richard Brown, yes, he is. I was just going to say that. Good actor, Ian Ogilvy. Played the Saint, didn't he, in the late 70s? Kyle McCready, yeah, Ian Ogilvy is in it. Good old walking boy like me. Yeah, he's a great actor, Ian Ogilvy. He's good. I tell you what he was good in, guys. He was good in The Witchfinder General. Yeah, he's great in that. Yeah, fantastic actor. And he made a gangster film as well. Yeah, a couple of years ago, where he was like a gangster. He came out of retirement and that. Yeah, we all, what was it? We all do. Also, had quite a bit of a long title. We all do the business or something like that. He was, I'd say, he was a retired gangster, and he came out of retirement to tackle these hoods and that. And he made a follow up as well involving. He was more based on, I think, it was based on Heist. The follow up, yeah. He's good, as I say, he was good in that segment with the door and From Beyond the Grave. Right. Martin McBurney says, Tales from the Crypt, my favourite Amicus movie with Joan Collins. Yeah, yeah. As a wife who murders her husband and then is terrorised by Psycho Santa. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the opening segment, isn't it? Yeah. And he also done an updated version of that in the late 80s, early 90s Tales from the Crypt series with the puppets, you know, which is even more horrifying, you know, because they made the Santa, his face was more repulsive. You know, he was really grotesque in that. And if you put a little bit more to that one, but I love both of them actually. Yeah, I've got no particular preference. I love the Joan Collins one, and I love the modern, you know, the updated version and that. Yeah, and of course based on a story from one of these comics, you know, Tales from the Crypt comics. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I love Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, fantastic. I wish they would. I wish they'd release that series on Blu-ray. That'd be the first in line to get it. Richard Brown is saying Ian Ogilvy is in some great horror films. He is indeed. Yeah, he's a great actor, Ian Ogilvy. Tony Crosby says there's a great book called British Cult Cinema, the Amicus Anthology out. Yeah, I've got I recently done a review of a great little book similar to that called The Vaults of Horror. It's basically covers 80 of the best British horror films from the 1950s right up. I think it's right up to the late 70s and that. And if you follow my channel, you'll see the review, Vaults of Horror. That's a fantastic book, that. It gives you a breakdown of each movie and that, you know, the director, the actors and that, all little anecdotes, what happened on the set and that. Yeah, that's a great one, that. I'll watch out for that one, what you've just mentioned. Gina says to Richard Brown, yes, he was in From Beyond the Grave as well. Yeah, where he bought the door, didn't he? Yeah, and it led into that creepy room and that guy with the wig and that. That's a great one. That. Right. Pete's saying we'll be picking up Elvis Allen next week. I've ordered a piece. Yeah, I've got it on order now on the 4K. Yeah, so fingers crossed it should be here by Monday and that. Yeah, I was quite surprised actually, Pete. They were working. Amazon were working on bank holiday because that's the Queen's funeral, isn't it? They're having a bank holiday, so I was quite surprised actually when he said, you'll get it on Monday and that. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And of course, as it's me mum, because she absolutely loves Elvis and that. So I was going to get the Blu-ray, but I read a little bit more about the 4K. It's more superior, so I've ordered the 4K. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that piece. Yeah, I must probably do a review of that when I've watched it. Yeah, can't wait to get that. Pete's saying again, we'll have to check out some of these anthology films. It's one type of horror I haven't seen a lot of. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed, Pete, because some great ones. You've got to like the sort of like, you've got to like the two aspects really. You've got to like the framing story. Say it's the crypt keeper telling the stories and that, or whatever. Like in From Beyond the Grave, you've got the shop proprietor. He takes an item and that and tells a story about the item. You've got to like the framing story, and you've got to like the stuff. You've got to like the segments as well. And if you like both and that, I don't think you'll be disappointed because there's some cracking ones there. As I say, particularly, I'd recommend Tales from the Crypt 1972. I'd recommend The House that Dripped Blood from 1971, From Beyond the Grave, which was about 1973, and Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, piece of cushion where he's on the train. He's like a Dr. Death type of character. Oh yeah, definitely. And these ones as well, piece what I mentioned in that, the modern mortuary collection, the more modern ones. As I say, Holiday Hell. And they're great ones to start with as well. But as I say, in regard to Amicus, yeah, definitely Tales from the Crypt, and the other ones I mentioned, yeah, I love me anthology movies, I really do. Brian's saying, I played Tender, really enjoyed your stream with Alan. Oh yeah, I enjoyed it myself, Brian. Yeah, I love the live streams and that. Fantastic. Tony says John Pertwee was great in The House of Dripped Blood. I'll second that. He was fantastic in that. Yeah, as I say, I love the little nod he gave to Christopher Lee. Where he's on the studio set and he's knocking the what's the names down, isn't he? The paintings and that. He's dissatisfied with the way it's all set up and that, the scenery. And he says something along the lines of like he goes on about Dracula, and he says something like, the old one. Bela goes, we've got this new fella, me and Christopher Lee. Oh yeah, I thought that was a great nod to Christopher Lee, because of course at that particular time in the early 70s, Christopher Lee was all the go, wasn't he? He was the #1 Dracula. Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, he's still the #1 Dracula. Yeah, but oh yeah, I love the little humorous elements that was in that segment and that. He was very arrogant, wasn't he, John Pertwee? Oh yeah, he was very no nonsense, dismissive and that. Well, of course, when he buys the vampire cloak and that, well, I won't. If any of you guys haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you. But let's just say all hell breaks loose. Right. Richard says, At the Earth's Core is a great non-horror Amicus. Do you know what? It's years since I saw that one. Isn't Carolyn Monroe in that and Peter Cushing? Yeah, years. I think I've only seen, to be quite honest with you, Richard, I think I've only seen that once. Yeah. Doug McClaw's in it, isn't he, as well? He was in the Virginian. Yeah. Chestnut 7 says, Ian Ogilvy was the only one who didn't fiddle Peter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He was the only good one, wasn't he? Yeah. Of course, he was spared, wasn't he? Yeah. The others were fiddling, weren't they? Robbing the money and that. They were a bit dodgy, dodgy characters and that. But of course, it came home to them. They got the just desserts, didn't he? Whatever item they nicked from the shop or whatever. Yeah. Walk on, always believe. Watch it, Alan. You okay, mate? Thanks for dropping by. Walk on, always believe. It says again, for a fun game challenge, name a horror film with each letter ALAN. Oh, I'm a Scouser. Yeah, that is a bit of a challenge. That. Oh, I'll have to get me thinking cap on there, mate. Brian says, I found the story of the man going home after a car crash really creepy in Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, you're talking about the one with Ian Hendry. Yeah. Oh, that was creepy, that wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. He's in the car and he wakes up and that, you know, it was sort of like a time loop, wasn't it? He was trapped in this loop and that, wasn't he? Yeah. And he woke up and then it really crashed the car, didn't it? Oh, yeah. And he goes back, doesn't he, to the house and that. And, you know, he's all disfigured, isn't he? And that. Oh, yeah. That's a great one, that. It's a great, yeah. As I say, that's my all-time favorite one, that. The 1972 Tales from the Crypt. It's a fantastic one. It's got atmosphere. It's got good, solid characters. It's got great segments. It's got a great framing story. And I love the ending where Ralph Richardson, he says something like, what did he say? He says something like, who's next? Perhaps you. Oh, God, that gave me chills, that, when I first watched that as a youngster, you know, in the early 70s and that. Yeah, fantastic movie. Pete says, thanks, Brian. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Pete says again, the TV series Inside Number 9 is a great anthology series. They even did the Krampus story. Oh, right, yeah, yeah. As I say, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Chestnut 7 is saying Peter Cushing is great as Dr. Schneck, but the stories are the weakest. I think the Christopher Lee one with the hand was best. Yeah, you're talking about the Dr. Terra's House of Horrors. Yeah, Christopher Lee with the hand and that. Yeah, he plays a stuffy art critic in that, doesn't he? Yeah, yeah. He comes to a rather sticky end. Yeah, yeah. It's a great one, that. Gina says to Chestnut 7, yes, I think the hand segment was the best. Yeah, great. It's a great segment, that. Tony Cross. Hang on a sec. Sorry. Right. Tony Crosby says the man in love with the tree and oh yeah, Michael Jaston. Yeah, the man in love with the tree and Tales that Witness Madness is great. Yeah, when he's got the tree and he puts it by the fireside and says, "Do you love me? Do you love me?" And Joan Collins is what's her name, wife, isn't she? It's sort of like she nags him all the time and that. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Yeah, yeah. I like Tales that Witness Madness. Yeah, yeah. I like the framing story as well with Donald Pleasence. Yeah, it's a great one, that. And the one with the tiger. Yeah, and of course the one with Susie Kendall and Uncle Albert. Yeah, great movie, that. I got it on Blu-ray. Chestnut 7 says, Gina, yeah, the fact that he couldn't seem to shake it off. Yeah, yeah, creepy, that Christopher Lee segments in there. That what's her name? Dr. Terra's House of Horrors. Gina says to Chestnut 7, yes. Edward says one of my favorite anthology movies was Ghost Stories. I've got that one. Yeah, 2017. It sort of reminds me of Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, I've got that one, Edward. I've only watched it once. I did have it on DVD a couple of years ago, but I let it go. But I got the Blu-ray, so I'll have to check the Blu-ray. I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet. I've got the slipcover as well, so I'll have to revisit that one. Yeah, very reminiscent of the old the M.R. James Ghost Stories, isn't it? Yeah. Richard Brown, Ian Hendry, like Ian Ogilvy, was in some of my favorite British horror films. Yeah, he's a great actor, Ian Hendry. Yeah, yeah, he's in that. He's in that one? That old one. Well, when I say old, it's at 1965. Any of you guys familiar with Roman Polanski's Repulsion? He's in that, isn't he, Ian Hendry? Yeah, yeah, that's a great one, that Repulsion. I'm going to do a review of that soon. Yeah, Roman Polanski. Yeah, and Catherine Deneuve. Yeah. It's in black and white, like, but it's a bloody good film. Yeah, it's a bit of a slow burner and that, but oh god, she's absolute. What's the name? The girl, and she's an absolute fruitcake. She really is. But yeah, so I'll do a review of that. Right, Walk On Always Believe is saying there's an anthology I highly recommend called Theatre Bizarre. Do you know what? I'm sure I've seen that. I'm sure I've seen that one. Is that the one with what's the name? Hosts it? Is it the Godfather of Gore? It's H.G. Lewis. I'm sure that's the one. I'm sure I've seen that one on Amazon Prime, The Godfather of Gore. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah, Herschel Gordon Lewis. Yeah, it was the one I'm thinking of. Gina is saying to Richard Brown, yes, I like Ian Hendry in The Theatre of Blood. Great film. It's the one where in the yeah, where he's sort of like isn't he one of the critics, the last critic, what Price, he plays Edward Lionheart, doesn't he, Vincent Price, isn't he? Yeah, he's at the end, isn't he, when he ties him up and that, and he's got those things coming towards his face, those red hot things, and that to burn his face, yeah. Oh yeah, he's great in that, Ian Hendry, yeah, Theatre of Blood, yeah. I always say about that poodle pie scene, oh, I can never watch that. Can never watch that at all. Oh, horrible. Talking about grotesque scenes, guys, you know, you're getting away from the Amicus British horror for the time being. They released that on 4K, haven't they? That Monty Python, The Meaning of Life, that part in the restaurant. Like, oh, that is horrible, that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, but the part in the restaurant, Mr. Crioso says, isn't it? Crioso. Yeah, he comes in, a big fat belly, is like an Italian. Oh, yeah, it's horrible, that one. Oh, yeah, it's a horrible movie. I don't know if that got past the sense of that. I know it's a comedy and that, but God, that scene would be more suitable for a horror movie. It's just horrible scene. You most probably, guys, if you know what if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. Walk On Always Believes says, I saw She Freak yesterday on Blu-ray 101 films. I really liked it. Great color too. Like a lot of 60s and 70s. Yeah, it's a great She Freak. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the Todd Browning's Freaks, isn't it? Same kind of story. Yeah, great, like a lot of 60s and 70s. It's a reimagining to Todd Browning. That's right, a reimagining to Todd Browning's Freaks from 1932. I enjoyed She Freaks, but Freaks is number one. Yeah, it's a great colour, that She Freaks, yeah, and it really evokes the carnival, the atmosphere of the carnival and the fair, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a great release. That's actually me. That's my favourite release on the 101. Agfar, is it Agfar or Afgar? I can't remember. It's either Afgar or Agfar films. Yeah, that's my favourite release. That love that one. Right, just bear with me, guys. It's just leaked up a bit here. Pete says, have you seen the film Carnival of Souls? I've got that in my collection, Pete. Carnival of Souls, yeah. Oh, it's a great movie, that. Yeah, I've got the Criterion edition. Yeah, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I highly recommend that to any horror fan. It absolutely oozes for atmosphere. It's got a great twist. It's got great characters and that. And it's a really eerie movie. Yeah. The original one. Yeah, the original from, I think it was made, it was at 1962. 1962 or 63 it was made. Yeah, I know it was made in the early 60s. I've got it in my collection. That's a great one, that Carnival of Souls. Yeah, as I say, one of the best horror movies ever made. Walk On Always Believe is saying, have you seen Jacob's Wife with the great Barbara Crampton? And it's on Shudder. I have the Blu-ray, arrived this month. I didn't like it. Yeah, I bought the Blu. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, she's kind of a vampire cannibal. Yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't like it, but that, as I say, that's just my, what I thought of it. You might like it. Yeah, I do like Barbara Crampton, though. Sharon Carter, you okay, Sharon? Hiya, Alan. I love all horror, but adore Hammer. Yeah, I'd certainly echo those sentiments. Keep up the good work. Oh, thanks very much, Sharon. Nice to have you along. Yeah, cheers. Richard Brown, Mr. That's the one. Yeah. Sorry about that. Just the thought of it made me, yeah. Oh, it's horrible. What's the name? Plays the character, doesn't he? Teddy Jones. Yeah, Teddy Jones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I love Monty Python, but that particular scene, no, can never watch that. Certainly not watch it if I'm eating. Yeah. Tony says, another wafer thin mint. Oh, I know, yeah. Oh, horrible scene. Yeah, I know what you mean. Brian Gilson, have you seen the Vincent Price 1980s anthology film? I think it has screaming in the title. Do you mean, oh God, yeah. Oh, what is it now? Is it? Yeah, I've got that. I'm sure I've got that one in my collection. It's about this, isn't she a reporter? From A Whisper to a Scream. That's a great one, that. Yeah, she's a reporter and she goes to interview Vincent Price's character concerning stories, that things that's happening in the town and that. I've got that one. Yeah, it's a good one, that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting the twist ending either. Yeah, it's a great one, that. I used to love Vincent Price. I think he was one of the best horror actors, you know, ever. Definitely. Richard says Theatre of Blood had an amazing cast. It did indeed, yeah. Yeah, and the late great Diana Rigg, of course, yeah. Robert Morley, Ian Hendry. Oh, yeah, a fine ensemble of British actors in that. Yeah, it's a great movie, that. And of course, Vincent Price, he really got into that part, didn't he? As Edward Lionheart and that, yeah. Oh, and some of the deaths, as I say, you know, really gruesome. Very, very similar to Dr. Phibes. If any of you guys seen Dr. Phibes, quite similar to that. Chestnut 7 is saying, I always wondered what was in the little squashed robot in Asylum's last segment wiggling about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one with Herbert Lom's in the cell and he puts the little mannequins to his forehead, doesn't he? Like he's commanding them to walk and that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, the innards and that. Yeah. Yeah. That was a great segment, that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's real weird. And that wasn't Herbert Lom making those mannequins in his cell and putting them onto his forehead like that and sort of like making them do his bidding and that. Yeah. Love that one. Walk On Always Believe is saying, Theatre Bizarre is a 2011 horror anthology. I had the DVD. I can't remember much of it. Only seen it once, but I don't think it's with Gordon Lewis. And yes, it's Agfar. All right. Nice. Gina is saying to Richard Brown, yes, it's the film where Vincent Price met his future wife, Coral Brown. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a fantastic actor, Vincent Price. So many iconic roles, you know, especially some of the movies he made with Roger Corman, you know, Edgar Allan Poe. Pit and the Pendulum is a good one. That's great, that one. And of course, where he, the House of Usher, where he's got his hair all white. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. And that voice as well. Oh. Right. Walk On Always Believe says, one of my favorite modern horrors are We Are Still Here and Dead Night, both starring the gorgeous Barbara Crampton. I don't think I've seen Dead Night, but I've seen We Are Still Here. That's the one where the ghosts are down in the cellar and it's got a snowy setting, hasn't it? They're driving to the house and that, and it's a real snowy landscape and that. That's a good one, that. Yeah, I like that one. Tony is saying the suit story is great in Asylum. Yeah, I'd certainly second that. So it's a great one. That, yeah, Peter Cushing. Yeah, as this, he's got it all set out, hasn't he? Exactly how he wants the suit to be made and that. And of course, the poor tailor, he's struggling with poverty, isn't he? And that. But oh yeah, that's great. That. Oh, Peter Cushing, whatever story he's in, he always lifts it, doesn't he? Even the story mightn't be, but which that was good. That was a great story. But there's been the odd film where the story hasn't been really great, and he's elevated it just by his sheer presence in that. Oh, he's fantastic. And the best Baron Frankenstein ever, in my opinion. Very nice man as well, by all accounts. Right. Scroll down here. Richard Brown. Yes, Gina. He burns her hair off. Yeah, I remember that scene well. I tell you what, like, you know, those movies what Vincent Price made in the early 70s, like the characters he played, oh God, they were really horrifying, weren't they? You know, really twisted and that, and the deaths he gave to the ones who, you know, his enemies and that. Oh God, yeah. I tell you, Dr. Phibes, I like the first one, the Abominable Dr. Phibes, but I did not like that second one where he went to, was it Egypt? And the scorpions and that. I've watched that a couple of times, and each time I've watched it, I thought, meh, you know, it's not for me, this. So what's the names in that as well? You know, the guy who played Count Yorga, Robert Quarry, he's in that, isn't he? Yeah, I could never get into that one. Dr. Phibes, you know, returns and that. Yeah, yeah, I could never get into that one at all, but I love the first one. Tony is saying Vincent Price playing Butch the hairdresser. Oh God, yeah, the pair with that, the dark glasses, yeah, a little bit of humor there, yeah. Vincent Price, he did play some of his roles rather, shall we say, tongue in cheek, yeah, because he sort of like he really hammed it up, didn't he? And he knew like he was noted for horror, and he played to that, didn't he? And he had a great time doing those roles and that, you know. And even his daughter said like he loved all that. He loved talking to people, you know, in the streets and that. And he loved, yeah, he was very, very approachable by all accounts, Vincent Price, yeah, very nice man. Totally different to the sinister roles he played on, you know, in the horror movies and that. Just like Boris Karloff, piece of cushion. Yeah, you find, you know, a lot of those horror actors, they're totally different to what the sort of creepy characters they play on screen. They're totally different, you know. Yeah, oh yeah, he's a fantastic actor, Vincent Price. Very much into his art as well, and a very, very good gourmet. Yeah. Gina says to Richard Brown, yep. Chestnut Seb 7, the Diana Dawes segment with Vincent Price squeaking the bed, driving the husband mad. Nice. Chestnut Seb 7, a pound was. Brian says, my mum Sarah says hi. She really enjoys your live streams. Oh, that's great to know that. Yeah, thanks very much. She brought me up on all the Hammer and Amicus classic films. Oh yeah, same here. I was brought up on all of them. First Universal with Boris Karloff as the Frankenstein monster, Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman, all them, and then I graduated onto Hammer and Amicus and that. So they're my three favorite. I've said this before, and I've got to say it again. My all-time three favorite horror studios were Universal, Hammer, and Amicus. Fantastic, yeah. It's just a shame, isn't it? You know, we haven't sort of like got anything like that now. You know, because a lot of the excuse me, a lot of the modern horror films now, about 80% of them have been terrible. You know, they just haven't got the atmosphere. They haven't got the actors. You know, the stories. You know, the scripts look they've been just rushed. You know, and just sort of like, you know, given like without any careful thought. You know, a lot of crap, a lot of junk being made now. But you can't beat those. There's been a couple of golden nuggets in that. For instance, I watched one just a couple of weeks ago, a modern one. Yeah, was it last? Yeah, this girl gets a job in a late night petrol station, service station, and she's getting stalked by a boyfriend. Like he's a bit of a psycho. He's broke out of prison. Is it rest? What's it called? Is it Rest Stop or Last Stop? Watch out for it anyway. It's on Amazon Prime. That's a really good one. That a modern one. Yeah. So and Last Night in Soho was good as well. That was more kind of a ghost story, wasn't it? Last Night in Soho. Yeah, I've got the 4K of that. I'm going to revisit that very, very soon. Yeah, I love all the 60s music in that. Last Night in Soho. Yeah, and fantastic actors in that, particularly the girl who played Sandy. Yeah, oh, love Last Night in Soho. Richard Brown says Madhouse with Peter Cushing and Vincent Price. Yeah, there's another fantastic film. Yeah, that's great. That one, Madhouse. Yeah, I love that one. It's not really a horror anthology, but it's a great little British horror movie made. I think it was made in 1974. Yeah. Tony is saying the two Dr. Fives movies, Theatre of Blood and Tales of Terror, are my favourite Price movies. Tales of Terror is great, yeah. I love Tales of Terror. That's a great one, that. Yeah. There's another good one as well, Tony, with Vincent Price in, called Twice Told Tales. That's a great one, that. Yeah. I've got the Blu-ray of that. That's kind of a horror anthology movie, and Price is in every story. So if you haven't got that, I highly recommend Twice Told Tales. Yeah, I think they're based on stories by the author Algernon Blackwood, if my memory serves me correctly. So watch out for that one. Yeah, Twice Told Tales. The Blu-ray looks lovely, really does. Tell you another good Vincent Price movie, The Last Man on Earth. That's a great one, that. Yeah, it's loosely based on Richard Matheson's novel, I Am Legend, and that. Yeah, oh, fantastic. Can't beat a bit of Vincent Price. Richard Brown saying, what about The Tingler? The Tingler's a great movie. Yeah, I must admit I haven't watched it for a few years and that, so I don't remember too much about it, but it is a good movie. Yeah, that was the William Castle one, wasn't it? Where when it was first shown on a cinema, didn't he put like buzzers, like electrified buzzers in people's seats and that, and he give them a shock and that when he watching the movie and that. Yeah, William Castle was into all those gimmicks. Yeah, he was noted for it and that. I've got the box set. The first Castle Indicator box set, but I didn't like the second Indicator William Castle box set. So I let that go. But the first one, it's got some cracking movies in it. Love William Castle. Brian says, me and my mum totally agree with you about the modern films. We all look out for the films you mentioned. My mum says, have you seen ATM? It's really good. I've got that one. ATM, yeah, that's the one set around Christmas, isn't it? The office workers and that, they get trapped in the telephone kiosk, don't they? There's a madman outside with a Fairline Parker on. It's great, that one, ATM, yeah, great movie. Tony says, yeah, got Twice Told Tales, very rarely shown on TV, that one. Oh, you've got that one too, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a great movie. I like Twice Told Tales. I'm talking about Algernon Blackwood. I recently bought his book of it, a book of short stories and that, yeah, because I haven't really read all that much of Algernon Blackwood, so I'm looking forward to checking those stories out. I'll tell you, I've started collecting Shirley Jackson. You know, the girl, the lady that wrote The Haunting of Hill House, and we you know, we've always lived in the castle. I've started collecting her novels and short stories and that. So I hope to do a video soon of all her, you know, my Shirley Jackson collection, because I love Shirley Jackson. Oh, the most infamous story of hers was The Lottery, written, I believe, it was 1948. It was first published at a magazine in America. It caused an absolute sensation. I won't tell you if you haven't read The Lottery, and if you like a good horror story with a real big punch at the end, or I guarantee you'll get a punch and a half if you read The Lottery. It's got one shock ending. You think it's going to be nice and that, you know, this village are all preparing for a lottery, the annual lottery, and that all the people are gathered in the square and that. But oh God, what an ending! So if you like a good, really, really sort of like a horror short story that stays with you long after you've finished, I recommend Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. Oh yeah, it got banned actually. From what I can gather, it shocked that many people. It got banned in some quarters, yeah. But I'll check that out. The Lottery. It's one of the best horror short stories I've ever read. Richard saying, was Twice Told Tales, was it Nathaniel Hawthorne? It could have been Nathaniel Hawthorne, yeah. I always get mixed up with them and Algernon Blackwood, yeah. Yeah, you could be right. It could be Nathaniel Hawthorne. I'll have to watch that movie. It's ages since I've watched it. Pete's saying, have you seen Dream Demon? Very much a UK version of Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I saw that one piece. Yeah. I wasn't too keen on that one, to be honest. And it had that British actor, so Timothy Spall. He was in it, wasn't he? And Jimmy Nail. Didn't he play the two reporters? Yeah, Jimmy Nail used to be in it. Off We the Same Pet. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that one. But I know a lot of people do like that one, but it wasn't for me, unfortunately. Tony Crosby to Richard Brown. Yes, it was. Right. Gina's saying to Richard Brown. Sorry. That's it. Yeah. Yes, it was. Mark's here, Bushman Blue. You're right, Mark. Thanks for dropping by, mate. Hope you've had a good day. Hi, Alan. Do you recommend any American? Do you recommend any American anthology movies? I've got a couple here, Mark. It was just shown. Here's a good one. The Mortuary Collection. That's very good. It's got a good frame and story. It was only released there 2 years ago. So yeah, so I recommend that one. Another good American one is Dead of Night. It's got Second Chance, No Such Thing as a Vampire, and Bobby. That Bobby one, Mark, is a real creepy one. I was saying before to the guys, you know, it's about this mother. She loses her son. She lives like by the sea in this big old house. And that she loses her son in a drowning accident, and she's very much into the occult. Don't give away too much about it, but she tries to bring her son back with horrific consequences. So Bobby, that is a story that will stay with you. It really will, yeah. But that's a good one, that Dead of Night. I believe that was originally a TV movie. If you want a good Christmas horror anthology, Mark, Holiday Hell with Jeffrey Combs. He plays like a sinister shop proprietor. You know, it's something like the one Peter Cushing played in From Beyond the Grave and that. And this girl goes into the shop. She wants to buy a present for her sister and that. And he shows her all the items in the shop, including a rather cursed Santa Claus suit and that. But yeah, Holiday Hell, that's a good one. And if you want to go a bit further back, Mark, I don't know if you like Lon Chaney Jr. or not. The Devil's Messenger. He plays Satan in that, and again, it's like a horror anthology movie, but it's in black and white, like. But it's a good little portmanteau movie. And then another one here, Mark, John Risser, The House on Terror Track. He plays like this estate agent and that, and showing this couple around houses and that, and something horrible's happened in each house and that. That's a great one, that, especially the one with the monkey. Oh yeah. So there you go. There's just a few anyway, Mark. Yeah. Sharon is saying the best horror books are pan books of horror. Yeah, I would certainly echo that sentiment. Trying to collect them all. No, you like them too. I love the pan books of horror. Sharon, yeah. I've started recollecting them actually. Albeit a couple, they're somewhat tattered now and dog-eared and that. But it's all part of the charm, I suppose, isn't it? Collecting these vintage paperbacks. Yeah, I've got a couple of gaps I've got to fill. Yeah, and hopefully once I've got all them, I might move on to the Fontana books of horror. They were good as well. Both series were big staples of my teenage reading years. They really were. I was forever at the library renting those fantastic little volumes out. You know, so it's really good. You know, to have them on my bookshelf and that. Yeah, I love the pan books of horror. Tony Crosby says to Gina, sorry, snap. Simon Philippan, hi Alan, you okay, mate? Thanks for dropping by. From Beyond the Grave with Peter Cushing's Antique Shop is my favourite. I love that myself. Especially the one with Donald and Angela Pleasance. Oh yeah, he's got his daughter with him, Angela Pleasance. Oh yeah, she's really creepy in that, isn't she? Yeah, she's with the way she starts singing that weird song and that, and Ian Bannon, you know, he looks at her and that, doesn't he, when he gets invited round to the house for tea and that. And that's a great one. That I always remember him saying, matches, lighters, standing outside the one of the railway stations or somewhere and that. Yeah, and he says to the Ian Bannon, "Shall we have the pleasure again tonight, sir?" Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's a great story. That great movie all round. Gina says to Tony Crosby, give him a smile, I think. Tony Crosby says, I had all the Pan and Fontana books of horror. I got rid of them. I wished I'd kept them. Yeah, as I say, I got rid of mine, the ones I bought in the 70s, but I've started recollecting them and that, and I'm going to revisit them and that, you know, because like with me being a horror writer as well, they very much shaped my desire to go into writing horror myself, along with James Herbert, Stephen King. They were the main influences on me becoming a horror writer myself, and I'm very glad I did, because I published my own. If you've been following me YouTube channel, you've been to my website, you'll know I'll publish my own horror short story books. But oh yeah, definitely, I was very much influenced by those good old pan books of horror. Gina is saying to Tony Crosby, me too, wish I'd kept them. Yeah, I tell you, while we're on the subject of wishing you kept certain things and that, I wish I'd have kept some of those American horror mags and British horror mags we used to buy voraciously in the 70s. You know, you'd have the likes of Famous Monsters of Filmland by Forrest J. Ackerman, the Monster Mag, which was like a British publication. You'd have like I think it was 2 films, and it'd fold out into this big poster of the 2 movies and that. I had a lot of the DC horror comics as well. You know, the Witching Hour, which was a bit similar to Tales from the Crypt. Excuse me. You'd had these 3 witches and that. You know, you'd had like the 2 old ugly ones. You had this glamorous one, and they'd each tell a story. You know, they'd been a framing story, and the 3 witches would tell a story. They were great then, the Witching Hour. I tell you what I used to like, guys, the Warren magazines, creepy and eerie, some cracking stories in them. There really was, you know, fantastic. Yeah, oh yeah, I wish I'd have kept them, like, you know. Richard says, pan books of horror are getting expensive to collect though, aren't they? Yeah, is it the last volume, the most expensive? Yeah, it's very, very hard to get that. The very last one they did, if my memory serves me correctly, it's much sought after, you know, by collectors and that. But hopefully, eventually, you know, I'll have them all and that, you know. But they do take some tracking down. They really do. Mark's saying, I will keep a lookout for those movies. If you have recommended that mortuary collection, Dead of Night looks good. Dead of Night is very good. Yeah, it's a great one, that, Mark. Yeah, and they did. I don't know if you know or not, but they did an old Dead of Night, a British one. And is it 1945? The one with the ventriloquist doll in. You might be familiar with this one. That was supposed to be the very, very first British horror anthology movie, Dead of Night. It's a great one, that Dead of Night. I've got the Blu-ray of that in my collection. But yeah, definitely check out that one. Tony says, please, that I kept my House of Hammer magazines. I used to have them. Yeah, and then it became the Halls of Horror, didn't it? I think it was around about 1978. It became the Halls of Horror. Oh yeah, I had all them. Yeah, yeah. I always remember buying the first one, the yellow one, in May 1976. The one with Christopher Lee on the front. Yeah, fighting the I think it's Jonathan Harker. Yeah, that's a great cover, that one. Yeah, I say I wish they kept them. You know. Gene is saying, I could never find the very last panned book of horror stories. Yeah, very, very hard, that one, to track down, Gina. But it's great to revisit them, like, you know, after liking them, like, you know, when you were young, and that's great to revisit them, really is. Yeah, I've always been a book collector. Oh yeah, absolutely love me books and that. Yeah, read from a very, very early age and that. Yeah, I used to love when I was very young. I used to love Enid Blyton. She was a big favourite of mine, and I like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis. I think that's my all-time favourite children's story. That the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Yeah, I read all the What's Her Name books as well. Not Biggles. I read a few Biggles, but I wasn't a big fan of Biggles. I used to read Jennings, the Schoolboy, you know, and Just William. They were a lot of fun then. Yeah, great, fantastic. Tony says, bugger, I had that. Gina is saying to Tony Crosby, wow, you were lucky to get it. Yeah. Simon Film Fan says, do you remember that one with the Indian rope trick? I think it was Vault of Horror. It was, yeah. Kurt Jurgens, yeah. Yeah, he's a ruthless, what's the name, isn't he? Isn't he a stage magician? He's looking for a new thing for his acting now. And I think they're on, it's in India. They're on holiday in India, him and his wife, and you see this Indian rope trick and that. And he lays the girl back up to his apartment, doesn't he? Murders her. She won't sell him it, so he murders her. And of course, something horrible happens when his wife climbs up the rope, and that she just vanishes. That's a great one, that. Yeah. Brian Gilson to Bushman Blue. I recommend the film Campfire Tales. Do you know what? I'm sure I've seen that one on YouTube. Yeah, Campfire Tales. Yeah, yeah. Don't remember too much about it, but it rings a bell. Yeah. Bushman Blue. Being late again, you have probably already answered this question. What's your favourite Amicus movie? Oh, definitely Tales from the Crypt. Yeah. In regards to our horror anthologies, and really, Mark, Amicus films in general would have to be Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, it's just so impeccable. I can't fault that movie at all. It's got a great cast. It's got a great framing story. All the stories are good in that. There's not one bad story among them in that, which is something I always look for when I'm going to check out, you know, a new horror anthology movie out. And yeah, oh yeah, Peter Cushing, Ralph Richardson is the Crypt Keeper, and of course the one everybody remembers the most, the Joan Collins, the Psychotic Santa. Yeah, oh, that's definitely my favourite Amicus one, closely followed by these two here, The House That Dripped Blood and Asylum. Yeah, so yeah, they're the three. Fantastic. I will look From Beyond the Grave as well. Peter Cushing's, you know, the Sinister Shop proprietor. I love that one as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. Can't beat Amicus for anthology horror. Fantastic. Richard Brown says there was a Hammer magazine a few years ago, wasn't there? Oh, what was it called? I don't remember. New Hammer magazine. Yeah. You can enlighten me on that, Richard. You know, I'd be very grateful. Yeah. But I've got fond memories of the you know, the House of Hammer and the Halls of Horror in the mid to late 70s. Always bought them. They had such lurid covers as well, didn't they? Usually had a Cushing or leaf featured on the front and that. Chestnut Seb 7 is saying, I had one Hammer House of Horror magazine in the 70s. I swapped it for a copy of Children of the Damned by A.V. Selwood, book of the film. Right. Scroll down, guys. Yeah. So, well, I hope while we're on the subject of, well, basically general horror anthology movies, I'd love to see some more real good ones than that. You know, I suppose that's wishful thinking really on my part, because there's been a lot of turkeys and that. There's only really been the odd good one, like, as I say, this one here, the Mortuary Collection. That's a great one. Now, I highly recommend that one. If you like American horror anthologies, get yourself a copy of this. Yeah, got a great framing story as well, featuring this sinister man in black here. And yeah, fantastic. Yeah, this has got over 2 hours of special features as well, and of course, British wise, Grave Tales, which is very, very. I mean, come to think of it, this might be quite valuable now. because it's very, very rare. You know, I've looked everywhere. Even somebody asked me a couple of months ago, you know, can you tell me where I can get a copy of Grave Tales? And I can't find a copy anywhere. Yeah, so you should imagine this would be, you know, quite valuable now. Yeah, the stories on here are One Man's Meat, Callistro's Mirror, Dead Kittens, and The Hand. Yeah. Oh, it's a fantastic little horror anthology, this. Yeah. Very, very underrated in that. Yeah. So, as I said before, if you can manage to get yourself a copy of this, count yourself lucky. Yeah. This was terrible, as I said before. The last one, especially, was awful. Chestnut Step 7 is saying, yes, Tales from the Crypt is #1 for me. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely love that movie. Never get tired of revisiting it. That one with the razor blades as well, and the blind man's home always gives me the creeps. That, you know, with the sergeant major and that, you know, the capture him from the cell, don't they? And then he starve his dog, don't they? And then they open the door, and the ravenous dog leaps out, and then he opens his door, and of course he's got the choice of being torn apart by his dog, his Alsatian, or perishing with the, you know, he built this thing, haven't they, with all the razor blades and that, and he's sort of like trying to squirm through it and that. So, oh, horrible death. Then he turn the lights out, don't they? Just hear the screams. Oh, that's a great one, that. Absolutely love Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, very, very classy movie. Mark says, thanks to Brian Gilson. We'll look out for that. Is it an older film or new? Tony saying, The Beast Under the Stairs and Creep Show scared me as a kid. Yeah. Gina says, there's one 11-minute clip from Grave Tales on YouTube, but that's all. Oh, right. Yeah. You never know. Like, if you keep searching for it, you know, you might come across it, like, one day. Brian says to Bushman Blue, it came out in the 1990s. Yeah. Yeah. As I say, that if you can get yourself a copy of that, you know, you give yourself a pat on the back, because he's fantastic in this. Brian Murphy as the sinister gravedigger, telling the girl, sitting the girl down on the bench and that, and he goes to each grave and that, and he says the name on the grave, and he starts telling the story about what happened, you know, but in regards to that particular person, how he met their death. Oh, yes. So, as I say, watch out for that one, guys. It's a great little, very much reminiscent of the old Amicus horror movies and that. You'd actually would think it was an Amicus movie. And I could quite imagine Peter Cushing playing that role as well. You know, but Brian Murphy, he was really on the money, you know, playing that character, that sinister gravedigger. Yeah. Oh, I love Grave Tales. Right, Tony Crosby to Gina Walpole. Yeah, I watched that. I wanted to see more. Yeah. Gina to Tony, me too. Right. Chestnut 7, Brian Murphy, love him, or George Roper. Oh, yeah, the landlord and Man About the House. Yeah, oh, yeah, he was fantastic in that, wasn't he? Yeah, and of course his wife Mildred and that. Yeah, and of course Robin and the two girls and that. Love Man About the House. Yeah, my favorite girl and that was Jo, played by Sally Thompson and that. Yeah, I could never understand, as I said before, the very final episode. I never understand why he couldn't have paired Robin off with Jo, because he lost Chrissy, didn't he, to his brother. His brother virtually stole her away under his nose and that. And yeah, well, if you watch that episode, guys, that very last episode of Man About the House, Jo's sitting on the after the wedding and that, she's sitting on the couch, isn't she, by Robin's dad. And they got onto the subject of like Chrissy and that, and he says to her, Jo, well, you're not fancy our Robin then? And Jo, she sort of screws her nose up. Well, he's nice, but he's a bit scatterbrained, yeah. So no romance there. Then, of course, Robin went on to star in Robin's Nest, didn't he? He opened his own restaurants with Tessa Wise and that, yeah. Oh, yeah, love all those old 70s comedies, yeah. I grew up with all them. Simon, film fan, says Tom Baker with the voodoo paintings was a good one. Yeah, fantastic, yeah. Love that one. Tony Crosby, loved the vampire restaurants and Vaults of Horror. Oh, yeah. He kills Anna Massey, doesn't he? His sister and that. And he goes to the restaurants and that. They all start closing, pulling the blinds down and that, don't they? Yeah. And the tap the side of his neck and that. They hang upside down, don't they? Yeah. That's a good one, that. Got a little bit of humor in that one, hasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love Vaults of Horror. I love all the Amicus horror anthologies. Actually, I actually done a little tribute, guys, myself, literary wise, to the Amicus movies I've always loved, because I wrote a werewolf book called Werewolf Nightmare, which I published on Amazon in paperback and Kindle, which is basically, it's got the framing story involving a horror writer, all to do with, I won't give too much away in case you want to buy it, all to do with werewolves and that, and there's 4 stories in it and that, all revolving around lycanthropy. So yeah, so that was my little nod, you know, to the Amicus portmanteau movies. I enjoyed writing it as well. Yeah, you know, as I was writing it, I thought to myself, this would have made a great Amicus horror anthology movies. A great Amicus horror anthology movie. Yeah, Dr. Impossible's here. He's saying Richard O'Sullivan was ITV's highest paid actor back in the 1970s. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Used to enjoy Dick Turpin on ITV. Oh, yeah, he was in Dick Turpin, yeah, with O'Sullivan, Evening Alan. You okay, mate? Yeah, thanks for coming along. Nice to see you. Nice. Used to love the Generation game as well. Nice. Yeah. Oh, the Generation game was a big staple of my Saturday night viewing when Bruce Forsyth used to host it. Larry Grayson took over, didn't he, in 1977 when Bruce went over to ITV for Bruce's Big Night. But you used to love Brucey doing it. Yeah, he started off with Anthea, didn't he? Anthea Redfern, the blonde girl. He married her, didn't he? Then he came back again, didn't he, in the early 90s with Rosemary Ford. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Generation game, along with all the other comedies, was a big staple of me, you know, growing up in the 70s and that. Yeah, used to like Mike Yarwood as well. He was great. His show. Simon Film Fan, not Amicus, but there was an anthology called Screen Time with an evil Punch and Judy doll. I haven't seen that one. Is that a British one, Simon, or is it an American one? I'll watch out for that one. Gina is saying, did anyone else collect the Hammer trading cards in the 1970s? I had lost the full set. No, that's one thing I didn't collect, Gina. No. Tony's saying, what did you think of Trilogy of Terror? That's the one with Karen Black in, isn't it? Love that one. Yeah, the little doll, the like the cannibal doll, the Zulu warrior, and that. Oh, that's great, that one. Which he returns as well in Trilogy of Terror 2, doesn't he? Yeah, I love Trilogy of Terror. I love both movies and that. And Karen Black was really on the money in that, wasn't she? Gina is saying almost a full set. Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, I also see, Alan, that Network DVD are releasing Tales of Unease, a nice vintage British TV anthology series of supernatural tales. Oh, Tales of Unease. Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, I'll have to watch out for that. Do you know what year it was made? Yeah, I'll have to watch out for that one. Right, just waiting for comments to come in, guys. Yeah, Tales of Unease. I say I've heard of it, but yeah, I've never actually seen it. I hope you're all enjoying the discussion then tonight, guys, all about the Amicus anthology movies and that. And as I say, there's been some fantastic ones over the years, but there's also been some, shall we say, turkeys and that, instantly forgettable ones. I don't like those ones. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like those ones where they cram in about 8 to 10 stories and they end abruptly. You know, they sort of, you think you're expecting a twist at the end, but they just end. You know, as is in the case with this Scary Tales. I mean, the two opening stories, they're very gory in that. You know, one about this guy finds this necklace in the ground and that, and it's supposed to belong to the devil. He gets possessed by a demon, and of course he starts killing, but it just ends abruptly. You know, no real proper twist to it and that. And as I say, that third one was absolutely abysmal. It was more of a kung fu sword and sorcery movie. And it was really out of place, you know, in this movie. Yeah, so very, very disappointing. Nice. Larry Fleetwood is saying, The Land of Time Forgot may be my overall #1 Amicus film. They made some good ones that weren't anthologies. They did make some good ones that weren't anthologies, yeah. For instance, The Skull, that was a good one, yeah. Oh yeah, they're fantastic company. And as I say, that one you mentioned, The Land of Time Forgot, yeah, fantastic company, Amicus, they really were. Gina Walpole is saying, yes, really enjoying the live. And oh, thanks very much, Gina. Yeah, glad to have you along and that. Yeah, always love talking to you guys every Thursday night about different aspects of the horror genre. Yeah, thanks for turning up anyway. I usually go on to about 2 hours, 2.5 at the most. And that I think that's about the best time for me, really. And that it's just sort of, that suits me fine. That 2 hours to 2.5 hours. Yeah. So so thanks again, guys, for turning up. Really, really appreciate it. Right, Simon Film Fan is saying Scream Time is English and was released in the early 80s. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, they might do a Blu-ray release of that, mightn't they, at some point? Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Tony Crosby to Gina Walpole. I think I got a couple packets of them as a kid. Did they come with bubble gum like the album cover ones? All right. I used to tell you what I did used to collect, going back to the late 60s, the Batman chewing gum. Used to get it in square packets and that. You get about 4 or 5 Batman cards in, and the chewing gum would be like an oblong pink, flat oblong pink stick, basically. I used to love collecting them, and I used to love collecting the football cards as well. We used to swap them in the playground. I used to go in with a big wad of football cards and that, and you say something like, "Have you got Alex Stepney? Have you got 2 Alex Stepneys? I'll trade you. If you've got 2 Alex Stepneys, I'll have one off you, because I've got 3 George Bests and that." Oh yeah, God, when you think back, guys, the memories and the schoolyard and that, taking the big wad of football cards in and that, yeah, fantastic. Nice. Nice. Bear with me, guys. I just comments are going a little bit out of sequence here. Tony Crosby to Gene. I think I got a couple of packets of them as a kid. Did they come with bubble gum like the album cover ones? Dr. Impossible is saying, plus The Intruder with James Bates. Do you remember that Granada TV series, Alan? Network are pulling out the stops for Halloween. The Intruder. Yeah. I vaguely remember that one, The Intruder. Didn't he have didn't he have a beret on and a patch over his eye? Yeah, that was based on a teenage novel, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, talking about old 70s TV series, I've got the that Zodiac I was going on about a few lives back. The one that stars Anushka Hempel, and I always forget that fella's name. Anton Rogers. Yeah, he's like a detective, and he's got Anushka Hempel's a psychic and that. They only made 6 episodes. Yeah, I've got the DVD of that Zodiac. So when I've watched them all, guys, I'll do a review of it for you. But yeah, me and my dad used to watch it in the I mean, we used to go out and that, visit me and relatives and that. Me and my dad used to watch it in 1974, and I don't remember too much about the stories, but we did watch it every week and that. So I thought I'd get it on DVD and revisit it. Yeah, as I say, it stars Anushka Hempel. She's the psychic. It's sort of like predates Medium, really. Have you guys seen Medium, the American TV series? We say that predates it. Yeah. So, but once I've watched it, I'll do a review of it, guys, and let you know what I think. Nice. Edward's asking me, have you seen scary stories to tell in the dark? I have. Yeah, Edward. I didn't like it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I couldn't get into it. It was more like a younger people, kids kind of movie. Yeah, I couldn't get into that. Rob Gray's here. You okay, mate? Hi, Alan. Are you a fan of the early Mario Barber anthology film, Black Sabbath? That's the one with Boris Karloff. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. I like Black Sabbath. Yeah. Karloff's in the he's in the framing story, isn't he? And he plays that sinister vampire character, doesn't he? Yeah. What would he call? Would he call the Warlocks or something? Oh yeah, that's a great one. That Black Sabbath. Walk on always believe is saying, I don't know much about Dracula apart from he likes blood, dagger in the heart, doesn't like sunlight, but there's something I'd like to know about. Can I ask you, because I think you're perfect about Dracula? Go on, ask away. I'll do my best. Gina is saying to Tony Crosby, yes, they had bubblegum with them. Yeah. Anybody remember Bazooka Joe? Not horror related, but more like, think of American baseball and baseball caps, and you get a pretty good idea of what Bazooka Joe was. Brian Gilson is saying, enjoying the stream, Alan. Oh, thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Have you seen the Doug McClure haunted house film where he and his family move into a house in Japan? I think it's called The House of the Rising Sun. I haven't seen that one. I didn't know he'd made a haunted house movie, Doug McClure. I'll have to try and trace that on Amazon. Yeah, The House of the Rising Sun. I presume he made it in the 70s, did he? Or 80s? Oh, yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I always love it, guys, when any of you YouTubers recommend a movie to me that I haven't seen. I love that, because I go onto Amazon then or eBay and trying to track it down and add it to my collection, and vice versa. I always like recommending movies to you guys, what you might have seen, and saying this is a good movie and that, check it out and that. Yeah, oh yeah, that's one of the pleasures, isn't it, being a movie collector? Recommending movies and that, mutually and that. Yeah, oh yeah, love it. I'll check that one out here, Brian. Thanks for that. Tony says PG tips cards for me. Do you remember the advert, the PG tips with the chimpanzees? There's one that stands out me. There's one that stands out me mind. He says, "Can you write tandem?" Remember that one? Can you write tandem? Yeah, the chips. They're sort of like the chimps. They were sort of like giving them sort of like human characteristics, weren't they? Making them talk and that. Yeah, that stands out for me. That one. He said, "Can you write tandem?" Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Memories are coming flooding back again, guys, as always. Simon Film Fan is saying, I still have loads of those bubblegum cards. Yeah. Not a full set, though. I think there was around 50, right? Mark is saying to Larry Fleetwood, those movies were great. Doug McClure is in all of them. Good actor, Doug McClure. Yeah, I remember him in the Virginian. He was in the Virginian, wasn't he? The Western series and that, yeah. And he was in that one, the 88 films released, is it about a year or two ago? The Humanoids of the Deep. I'm sure he was in that. Wasn't he a scientist? Yeah, Humanoids of the Deep. Yeah, I'm sure Doug McClure was in that. Gene is saying to Tony Crosby, yes, I collected some of those as well, right? Dr. Impossible, Tales of Unease was released on ITV back in 1970, before the great ITV anthology series Thriller by the late, great Brian Clemens. Oh, I love Thriller. That is one of, definitely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of my all-time favourite British TV series, Thriller. Especially the one with Donna Mills in One Deadly Owner, where she buys this huge, massive white Rolls Royce and it's haunted. That's a great one, that. Yeah. And she's in that other one as well, The Room at the Top of the Stairs. Yeah, that's a great one as well. I love Thriller. Fantastic, yeah. The one with Diana Dawes in as well, where she plays that evil nanny, but she's really the devil. Oh, that's a great one, that. When Nurse Will Make It Better. Yeah, if you get Thriller, guys, I guarantee you'll love it. You never know. Fingers crossed, you might release it on Blu-ray. So if any studios are watching, get that out on Blu-ray. I'd love to see it, and loads of special features as well. Now, I'm after, while we're on the subject of Thriller, I want that Australian imprint one, but I can't get it anywhere now, because I believe the picture quality is better than the British one, and you get like more extras as well, commentary in that by Brian Clemens and that, and you get like a nice booklet as well. So if anybody knows where they can get that Australian imprint Thriller, let me know. Yeah, I love Thriller. Yeah, and I'll watch out for that Tales of Unease. Thanks very much for that. Right. Mark saying Warlords of Atlantis is another good one. I haven't seen that one, Mark. Might get hate for that. Might get hate for this, but I wouldn't mind a remake of those dinosaur films. Yeah. You never know. They might do that, mightn't they? Simon Philip and Susan George is in Tales of Unease. Oh, right. I like Susan George. Yeah. I like her in Straw Dogs. That's one of my favorite films of hers. Straw Dogs. Yeah. I love Susan George. Yeah. I liked it in that one with Roald Dahl as well. Tales of the Unexpected. That's a good one. Yeah. Oh, she's been in loads of TV series and movies, hasn't she? One of our top actresses is Susan George. The one where she's a babysitter as well, Fright with Dennis Warsman. That's a good one. Richard Brown is saying, did anyone have the horror top trumps? Don't know that one. Walk On Always Believe is saying, thanks. I know Dracula is a vampire and there's loads of vampire horrors, but they're not playing Dracula. My question is, what makes Dracula Dracula? Why aren't other vampires called Dracula? Thanks. I suppose it's all down to Bram Stoker's original title, isn't it, really? He'd done a lot of research before he wrote Dracula, hell of a lot of research on all these foreign names for it, for all these tyrants and that, and vampire creatures and that. And he sort of like mingled them all together to get the name. This is what I've read from research, and he put them all together, and out came Dracula, So I'll give an example of Bela Lugosi. A lot of people think he played Dracula 5 and 6 times. No, he didn't. He only played him in Dracula, the 1931 movie, and then he reprised his role for Abbott and Costello and Frankenstein. So although he played Dracula on the stage, he only played Dracula twice in a movie. But he played in between. He played a lot of vampire. He played a lot of vampire characters similar to Dracula, all but a name, really. Like Mark of the Vampire, Return of the Vampire. You could say they were Dracula movies, but as I say, it was a different name. But yeah, good point there. Yeah. What makes Dracula Dracula? Why aren't other vampires called Dracula? I suppose they're all different. Well, the difference aren't they? Count Yorga, again, he was different from Dracula, and then the Karnstein family, they were separate from Dracula. So it all boils down to the family lineage, I suppose, doesn't it? I suppose if you like the son of Dracula, you'd get a Dracula there, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's the way I see it anyway. Nosferatu, that's another name for a vampire, isn't it? Yeah, the old Max Schreck film where he had the bald head and the pointed ears. Yeah, that's a good one. Nosferatu. Right, just get the comments, guys. Simon Film Fan says yes, both sets. Yeah. Gina is saying, I love the weird segments of Black Sabbath. That's the word I was looking for the Karloff creature in Black Sabbath. Yeah, the weird-ulac. Yeah, try saying that after 10 pints. Larry Fleetwood is saying, yes, Warlords of Atlantis is awesome. Sadly, it's still not on Blu-ray yet. Yeah, I haven't seen that film, Larry. Yeah, so yeah, I can't really comment on that. Nice. Tony is saying to Richard Brown, yes, I had them. I wanted anything horror related as a kid in the 70s. Yeah, I think the 70s was a great time, guys. For the horror fan. There used to be loads of horror magazines everywhere. As I said before, Creepy, Eerie, The Witching Hour, The Monster Mag, The Hammer House of Horror, Halls of Horror, House of Hammer. Oh God, they were abundant, weren't they? And of course, if you're as old as I am, yeah, you remember them, won't you? Yeah. Brian is saying, you're very welcome, Alan. Hope you can find the film. Oh, thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, I'll keep looking, mate. Yeah, cheers, mate. Richard Brown, was the Doug McClure film The House Where Evil Dwells? Now that rings a bell. The House Where Evil Dwells. A lot of these movies, like, they had different titles, didn't they? This is where the confusion arises, and that, I mean, some of those Italian zombie movies, they had 2 and 3 different titles, So like, and sometimes like what they might do, some of these these Blu-ray production companies, they might release a movie under a different title when it could be a movie what you've already seen, so because a lot of these movies have got like foreign titles and they re-release them, with British titles and that. So you've got to be careful of that. You don't buy the same movie. It's very annoying, that, like. Right. Brian is saying that's the one to Richard Brown. Yeah. Tony is saying, cooey, Mr. Shifter, do you know the piano's on my foot? Brian Gilson, I love the Doug McClure sci-fi films. I think they are on Blu-ray on Amazon Germany. Yeah, you can get some bargains on Amazon Germany. Yeah, I've ordered a horror anthology from there, which I hope fingers crossed, it'll come tomorrow. Yeah, about the radio host, and it tells different stories. Yeah, so when I've watched that, guys, I'll do a review of that. I'll tell you what's a good horror anthology movie, guys. Made in 1977, The Uncanny with Peter Cushing. Yeah, about cats and that. It's all about cats, and Peter Cushing, he's got this weird idea that cats are going to control humanity. They're going to take over the earth and that. So he's written a book and that, and he goes to his agents, Ray Milland and that. And Ray Milland's very dismissive and that, oh, rubbish and that, you know, cats will never take over the earth and that. But each story revolves around the cat. That's a good one, that, The Uncanny. Watch out for that one if you haven't seen it. It's a great one, that. I've got the Blu-ray of that. I tell you what, guys, one horror anthology movie I did not like at all, and I've watched it a couple of times, Southbound. I didn't like that at all. I hated that. Yeah, a lot of people said, oh, you want to watch Southbound, and that. When I saw it, I thought, God, what am I watching? It was boring, you know, the stories were rubbish and that, yeah. But that's in me one of my lists of 20 all-time boring horror movies, Southbound, yeah. Right. Mark's saying, I have the TV series Thriller, never watched it, but plan on watching them next month for 31 Days of Horror. You won't be disappointed, Mark. They're great. Yeah, I love them. I really do. I love Brian Clements. I think he thought he was a fantastic writer. He really was. He wrote The Avengers as well, you know, TV shows like that. But that Thriller, I used to watch that without fail every Saturday night, you know, and as I say, the ones with Donna Mills in particularly stand out in my memory. And of course, the one with Diana Dawes and that. Fantastic and that. John Carson's he's in one or two of them. That one where he plays the green sleeves, the music green sleeves, and he goes into like a trance and that, and he becomes this like killer. That's a good one. I forget the title of it. And then there's another good one as well, where this fella he's looking for a girlfriend and that, and he signs up with this Dayton Lonely Hearts Agency, and he gets his girl all right, but she's a bloody witch from centuries ago. That's a good one. Yeah, centuries old witch she is, in the form of a single girl of the 70s and that. So that's a good one. Oh, so many good ones get in that one, Mark, that Thriller. And as I say, if any studios are watching, I'd love them to pick this up for a Blu-ray release and that. Yeah, I love Thriller. Fantastic. Robert Powell as well. That's a good one, Mark. Sister Mary, where I won't give away too much about it. I don't want to spoil it for you, but basically Robert Powell, he's like John Travolta in that film, The Fan, if you've seen The Fan, where he's pursuing his idol all the time and that. And in this case, it's Sister Mary. She's like in a soap opera, and she plays a nun every week. And Robert Powell, he's a bit creepy. He plays this creepy guy. He turns up at the studio all the time. Sister Mary, I love you and all that. Oh, he's a real fanatical fan. That's a good one. Sister Mary. Yeah. Oh, so many great episodes in that, Mark. You won't be disappointed. Gina is saying to Bushman Blue, they're well worth watching. Yeah, I'd second that. Mark saying, would you class Susan George a scream queen? She's done some great horrors, but never gets mentioned as one. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. Like in some respects, you would regard her as a scream queen, wouldn't you? Yeah, she's been in quite a few horror movies, hasn't she, Susan George? She's a great actress. She really is. Yeah, very versatile as well. Yeah, love Susan George. Straw Dog, she was magnificent in that. Dustin Hoffman. Larry Fleetwood is saying Thriller is brilliant, good old spooky telly. Yeah, certainly agree with that. Well, I think we'll go on till 10:30, guys, if that's okay, because I've enjoyed it that much in that. So as I say, we'll go on to we'll go right on to the 10:30, if that's okay. Yeah, thanks for turning up again. Anyway, really enjoying it. I think that's about right. 2.5 hours and that. Yeah, I think that's ideal. Yeah. So if you've got any questions at all about any aspect of horror anthology movies and that, your favorite horror anthology movies, least favorites, by all means, fire away. Yeah, I could talk about horror anthology movies till the cows come home. Absolutely love them. Yeah, such a huge staple of my my first introductions to horror were those wonderful Amicus horror anthology movies. I used to watch on a Friday night and that. Yeah, oh yeah, fantastic. Walk on Always Believe is saying, thank you, Alan. I really appreciate that information on Dracula. No worries, mate. I've always found the character of Dracula very interesting and unknown, and I love Nosferatu 1922. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, Max Schreck. Yeah, love Nosferatu. Yeah, classic, isn't it? Especially the part where he's creeping up the stairs and that. I just see his shadow surreptitiously, going up the stairs and that. Oh yeah, horror classic that. Tell you what's a good horror classic. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Any of you guys seen that? I've got the Eureka Eureka version of that. Oh yeah, it's a really good story. That, yeah, said to be the very first horror movie, guys. Yeah, The Cabinets of Dr. Caligari, and I'm going to do a review of that in the not too distant future. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, love The Cabinets of Dr. Caligari. Silent movie, like, but very, very enjoyable nonetheless. Dr. Impossible is saying Brian Clemens said that both the Rolls Royce episode and the episode called Possession both reflected Christine. Yeah, I've read that myself somewhere. And much later, What Lies Beneath, the Robert Zemeckis film with Harrison Ford. Clemens was a genius. I love What Lies Beneath. Yeah, with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got the Brian Clemens. I've got the big thick red guidebook to Thriller. It tells you everything about the series, and that's absolute Bible. You know, I'll try and root it out and show it you guys sometime. And that, oh, it's a fantastic book. You can get it on Smashwords, but I don't know if it's more widely available now or not. But I got mine from Smashwords and that. Oh yeah, if you love Thriller, it's well worth adding to your collection. Won't be a minute, guys. I'll be back in a tick. That bloody Leo slagging me off, has he? Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'll say I'll be on till 10:30. So if you have to say, if you want to get your questions in and that about anthologies and that, just fire away. Right. Chestnut Step 7 is saying, love the post segments in Torture Garden. Yeah. Mark's saying to Brian Gilson, yes, I have seen those films on German Amazon. The Blu-rays are cheap as chips. Yeah. Tony Crosby says, horror books, comics, and magazines were great in the 70s. Yeah, I'd certainly echo that sentiment. Mark's saying to Gina, I will be watching them soon. Yeah. Gina says to Tony, yes, they were. Right. Chestnut Step 7, it says, the girl in the original Christine actually lived in the real Amityville horror house. Her surname is Belford. Oh, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. Walk on, always believe. I find the look of Nosferatu more creepier than the other vampires. Yeah, very creepy. The bald head, tall, lanky physique, long arms, long fingers. Yeah, definitely. Blank face expression, which has a powerful expression yet no expression. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, yeah. When I first saw that the image of that Nosferatu when I was a kid, it frightened the life out of me. You know, especially the part where he creeps up the stairs and that, the figure and that. There's something about, I don't know what you guys think, but there's something about scenes where creepy, shadowy figures creep up the stairs and that in the middle of the night and that. Oh yeah, very, very creepy. Like when you hear a noise and that in the house and that when you're on your own, you don't know what it is and that. You know, yeah. Ooh. They've done a good job at that movie, Nosferatu. They really did. Dr. Impossible says Diana Dawes was such a brilliant actress, though. Sad to think her acting career went into the ditch in the 1980s before her death. Yeah, great actress, Diana Dawes. Anybody seen that movie she made, Before I Hang? I haven't seen it for years, and that's a good film. I think it's made in black and white. Yeah, Before I Hang. Tony says Thriller sounds very interesting. I think that'll be a purchase for me. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. So it's a great series, mate. Edward's saying, have you seen a movie called Asylum? Well, if you mean this one here, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, Amicus 1972. Yeah, it's a great movie. That I've got the Blu-ray of that. Rock and Roll Hell. What's the next stream subject going to be? Well, I'm toying around with a couple of subjects in that. One of them will be supernatural paranormal movies. So that's one of the things I'm toying around with, juggling and that. So by next week, I should know, decide on a fitting theme for it for next Thursday and that. Walk on, always believe. I also love the off-screen scenes in horror with just the shadows visible. It creates more tension and has an unknown feeling watching the kills where we just see the shadows. I love it. Oh yeah, well they often say, don't they, it's not so much the blood and gore, it's sort of like the very, very subtle scenes in horror movies and that. What sometimes they say, like, what you don't actually see is more scary than what you do see. And I would tend, most of the time I would tend to go along with that, because your imagination, that can conjure up all sorts of demons and ghosts and ghouls and that, can't it? And imagine all sorts and that, so, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. As I say, sometimes things, what you can't see, are more scarier than things what's actually thrown into your face and that. Yeah, definitely. Like, for instance, in the Haunting, the original Haunting, based on Shirley Jackson's novel, made in, I think it was made in 1963, where the girls are on the bed and that in Hill House, and the door, the boom and the door go, oh, that frightened the life out of me. That when I was a kid, they're lying on the bed terrified and that, and the door's booming, booming, so someone's going to burst into the room, and your mind's wondering what's behind that door. Oh yeah, fantastic. And also, guys, have any of you guys read the story The Monkey's Paw by W.W. Jacobs? Oh, tell you what, some of the adaptations I've seen of that, it's basically, in a nutshell, this old man and woman, you get this monkey paw given to them by this army friend. It's supposed to have magical powers. If you can get, it grants you 3 wishes. But as is always the case in horror stories, the wishes don't turn out to be what you expected. And there's one he wished for it. The son dies in a horrible accident, and the old lady wishes him back, but he doesn't come back. But you don't actually see him. But you know that he's not going to come back as he was when he, before the accident, and he's going to come back all mangled and grotesque. But that she wishes it, and the husband's against it. And anyway, in the middle of the night, they hear the gate getting opened and the shuffling, the footsteps coming up to the house, and they're banging on the door and that, and you know it's the son, and the man said, "Don't open the door, don't open the door," you know, the old man and that, and you imagine, you don't actually see the son, but your mind is playing all sorts of horrible, sort of like conjuring up all sorts of horrible scenes about what the son might actually look like. So that's a good example of things what you don't actually see being more scary than what you can actually see, you know, in front of you. That's a great story, that, The Monkey's Paw. And in Tales from the Crypt, there was a story in that starring Richard Green, where he has this island that, and he's in financial difficulties, and he makes all these wishes and that. So yeah, that's a great nod to The Monkey's Paw, yeah. But good point that, yeah, what you made before. Gina's saying, What Lies Beneath is a very good film. Yeah, love What Lies Beneath, yeah. Walk On, Always Believe. The Cabinets of Dr. Caligari from 1920 is another great silence horror. Yeah, as I say, I've got that one in my collection. Dr. Impossible, Yield to the Night was a classic Diana Dawes film. Yeah. Walk On, Always Believe. My favourite subgenres in horror are demons and witches. And when I saw witches, I don't mean the gorgeous ladies. I mean the grotesque-looking witches. Yeah, you mean the Roald Dahl one? Richard Brown, the scariest witch was the Wicked Witch of the West and the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, definitely. That did have horror elements in it, that, didn't it? You know, the flying monkeys and that, I'd say the Wicked Witch and that. Walk On, Always Believe is saying, I adore silence horror. They have, in my opinion, more tension and creepier unknown vibes than later horrors. Also, if it wasn't for silence horrors, we wouldn't have all the horrors we got later on. Yeah. Well, they basically laid the foundation, didn't they? A lot of those silence horrors for what came afterwards, really. And that it's like the Universal monster movies. They set the benchmark, didn't they, by which all subsequent horror movies would be judged. Yeah, definitely. Chestnut 77 saying, I remember seeing Alan Frank's horror films in a shop window as a kid. I got it thanks to Mum. Still do. Yeah, I think I had that one myself from the library. Alan Frank's. Yeah, I had loads of horror books in the 70s, you know, too numerous to mention, really, you know. Gina Walpole, got to go now. Had a great time as always. Have a good weekend, Alan, and everyone. Oh, thanks very much, Gina. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. It was very nice to talk to you. Have a nice weekend, and I look forward to chatting with you again next week. Yeah, thanks, Gina. Right, Dr. Impossible is saying, A Kid for Two Farthings was another film with Diana Dawes and Celia Johnson, set at post-war London, directed by Carol Reed. Yeah, I've seen a clip of that. Lovely coloured movie, you know. I wouldn't mind getting that one, actually, on Blu-ray. Yeah, beautifully coloured movie, you know. Yeah, definitely. Tony Crosby saying, the scariest vampire for me is Mr. Barlow in Salem's Lot. Oh, definitely. He was one creepy character, wasn't he? Especially when he burst into the house and that, you know. Oh, yeah, fantastic, yeah. And James Mason was very good, wasn't he? He was basically looking after him, and that wasn't his financial affairs and that, yeah. Straker, yeah. He was a great actor, James Mason. I didn't like the remake, though, with Rutger Hauer. I thought that was total crap. Hated that one. And this new one, what they're making now, guys, I'm not really holding my breath that it's going to be any good, you know. I'll actually, you know, obviously reserve my judgments and that until I've seen it right through. The David Soul one will take some beating, guys. That was a fantastic one, that. Simon Film Fan is saying, any love for the Monster Club? Yeah, Vincent Price, yeah. Love the Monster Club, yeah, it's great. Brian Gilson to Tony Crosby. I agree, the vampire in the rocking chair is creepy. Yeah, definitely. Tony Crosby to Chestnut 77. Great book, that. Yeah, definitely. One of his best. Brian Gilson to Bushman Blue. Peter Cushing is good in At the Eighth Score. Yeah. Well, he's good in every movie. Chestnut 77. Tony, it's a great book, mate. Yeah. Richard Brown, what about the vampires in Blade? I'm not a great fan of Blade. Nah, I don't like them movies at all. Right. Walk on, always believe. T. Simon Film Fan. What did you think of Torture Garden with Burgess Meredith? I love Torture Garden. One of my all-time favorites horror anthology movies. I love the carnival setting. Burgess Meredith was really on the money in the frame and story as a sinister, carnival man, alias Satan. Yeah, and great stories in that. Yeah, great solid cast. Yeah, love Torture Garden. Mark saying Network is a great company that releases all the old TV series and films. I agree with you, Mark. Yeah, I've got a few of them. Network, Likely Lads, Man About the House. Yeah, the Sandwich Man with Michael Bentine. That's a good one. Lovely coloured setting. If you like your 60s movies, like showing you all London and that, I think you'll love the Sandwich Man. Most of the comedy stars that are in that. Tony Crosby says, love the Monster Club. The stripper segment was very inventive. Great song. Yeah. Yeah. Good old B.A. Robertson. Dr. Impossible. Reggie Nolder, who played Mr. Barlow in Hooper's Salem's Lot, was nearly 7 foot tall in real life and starred in Zoltan, the Hound of Horror. Oh, never knew that. Dracula's dog. Chestnut Seb 7. Did you know the snow in the Wizard of Oz was asbestos? No, didn't know that. As I say, you learn something new every day. And there was a rumor going round that while we're on the subject of Wizard of Oz, I don't think it was true. I think it's purely apocryphal. All the Munchkins and that. I think it was a joke. I think it was a Judy Garland said it like as a joke. They were all alcoholics and that. They're always when they weren't on the set, they were always boozing and that. Yeah, but yeah, don't give any credence to that at all. I think it was purely apocryphal, untrue, in other words. Tony Crosby, Night Gina. Walk on, always believe. There's a horror fantasy from 1911. I think you'd like Inferno. 1911. It's creepy. It has outstanding effects for its time. I also recommend Inferno 1911, the shorter film version, which is different. I haven't heard of that one, but I've got the Dario Argento Inferno, but I haven't heard of that. That much earlier one. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for that. Right. Simon Film Fan is saying the stripping skeleton. Yeah. Dr. Impossible. Alan, what did you think about Voices starring David Hemmings and Hemmings' ex-wife, Gail Honeycutt? It was okay. It was okay. But you know what spoiled that for me? There was a lot of dialogue in the middle of the movie, and he shot it in such a fashion that it reflected the poor camera, the poor camera setup of that particular time. But as I said, I love the opening. And at the end, and I love the twist ending, but it was in between what I wasn't too keen on. There's a lot of talk in it, but I've kept the indicator Blu-ray anyway, and I might watch it again at some points. But I love Gail Honeycutt and David Hemmings. Yeah, Gail Honeycutt was good in Eye of the Cat as well. That's a good movie, Eye of the Cat. And David Hemmings, he was good. Of course, he was in Deep Red, wasn't he? And then he was in Eye of the Devil with the lovely Sharon Tate. Yeah, he's a great actor, David Hemmings. Yeah, it's a bit slow, that one. Voices. Walk on, always believe. Have you seen Quaidan from 1964? That's a visually stunning anthology. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Chestnut 7. Yeah, I watch Torture Garden now and again. Love it. Yeah, great movie. Mark saying, time for me to go. Early start for me tomorrow. Thanks, Alan. Oh, thanks very much, Mark, mate. Yeah, thanks for turning up. It's nice talking to you again. And have a nice weekend. And I'll talk to you. All going well. I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Thanks, Mark. Edward, have you seen the Monster Squad? I have seen the Monster Squad. Yeah, many, many years ago on VHS. And I'd like to get the Blu-ray of that. Yeah, all famous monsters, so they come back into modern times, don't they? Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm definitely have to get the Blu-ray of that, the Monster Squad. I've only seen it once, as I say, on the old VHS, but yeah, definitely be having that to me collection. Simon Film Fan indicates to put out Torture Garden. Yeah, I've got Torture Garden. It's a great edition. Love it. Dr. Impossible. Christ, I watched Peter Cushing in Shockwaves the other night. Nazi Zombies fun. I've seen that once. Shockwaves. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, the Nazi Zombies. Yeah. Larry Fleetwood is saying The Monkey's Paw 1948 with Alfie Bass and Medge Jenkins is a good version. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to get that. Renowned Pictures put it out on DVD years ago, paired with the spooky The House in Morse Road with Pat. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I'll have to get those two movies. Yeah. Oh, thanks very much, Larry. Yeah, yeah, I'll have to get those two. Thanks, mate. Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen either of them. Dr. Impossible is saying BFI have the Tale of Two Farthings on blue, and it looks great. Nice print. Oh, right, yeah. Definitely have to get that one. Definitely. Tony Crosby says, I know you didn't care for it, but I love The Beast Must Die. Oh, yeah. You've got to guess who the werewolf is. Yeah. He wasn't really keen on that, but I do know a lot of people like it. Brian is saying, have you seen the film Waxwork with David Warner? Is that the one with Patrick McNean as well? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure Patrick McNean's in that one. Waxwork. He made two, didn't he? Yeah. I think I've seen that one. Waxwork. Yeah, I love Patrick McNean, especially when he's in the Avengers, and he's good in The Howling as well. My dad was the image of him, by the way. Simon Film Fan is saying The Uncanny is an underrated anthology. Yeah. Peter Cushing is convinced that cats are evil and tells us publisher three tales. Yeah, great movie. Love The Uncanny. Right. Walk On, Always Believe. There's two Inferno horrors from 1911. There's two because the creators fell out and each made Inferno. One is on for 1 hour, 11 minutes. The other is on for around 23 minutes. They're both on YouTube. I'll have to check them out. Yeah. Thanks for that. Right, guys, we've got about 20 minutes to go anyway. I'll finish at 10:30. So, get your questions in or comments and that. I'll try to get through as many as I can, because I know myself when I go on live streams and that, if you're waiting and that, it can seem ages sometimes before, get round to, having your question answered and that. But, yeah, so I'll try to get through as many as I can. So ask me anything at all, about horror anthology movies and that. Love talking about them. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to these new ones I've ordered and that. They look really good, But as I say, I've said it over and over. I don't think any studio can touch Amicus when it comes to horror anthology movies, because they were just top class. You're right at the top. In terms of making a good horror anthology movies, they were great. Dr. Impossible is saying, did you ever see The Night Digger with Patricia O'Neill and Nicholas Clay? Nope, haven't seen it. That film is one underrated thriller directed by Alistair Reed. I haven't seen that one though. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah. Oh, so many great movies here being recommended. Yeah, definitely have to check them out. Simon Film Fan is saying, how about an Italian horror live stream? Yeah, well, that's one of the options actually that I'm juggling around with at the moment in my mind. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, you might see an Italian horror themed live. Yeah. Watch this space. Richard Brown, what's about the original Dead of Night? Yeah, from 1945. I love it, especially the ventriloquist segments and that. Love that one. But oh yeah, it's real creepy. That real creepy. Great framing story too. Yeah. So oh yeah, love Dead of Night. Yeah, that was one of the greatest British horror anthology movies ever made, in my opinion. Fantastic. Yeah. But as I say, guys, these films here, what I've showed you tonight, I highly recommend them. Fantastic movies, they really are. And if you love a good horror anthology, I think you'll enjoy these. They're great. That one I would avoid like the plague. It was terrible. One of the best modern ones I've seen in the Mortuary collection. And of course, Dead of Night with that, or terrifying story with the lad coming back from the drowned lad coming back from the dead. Great one. Right. Just catching up with the comments here, guys. Chestnut 7 is saying Amicus Friendly Fear book was lovely, as you know, Alan. Amicus Friendly Fear book. Don't know about that one. I haven't heard of that. Amicus Friendly Fear book. Don't think I've seen that one. Brian Gilson says, me and my mum love paranormal books and shows, and we both think your paranormal books look really good. Oh, thanks very much, Brian, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've written quite a few, you know, about true ghost stories and that, you know, and urban legends and that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be having another one out soon, but it's going to be like a horror movie quiz. Yeah. So I hope to get that out before Halloween. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love writing about the paranormal and horror and that. Yeah. My favorite genre. So, yeah. So thanks for the kind words. Yeah. Really appreciate them. I would love to write a novel one day, you know, full-length novel. I've got a couple of ideas. I've got a rough draft I'm playing around at the moment. So I'm trying to shape that into, you know, a semblance of a good story. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I'd love to have a full-length novel published. Dawn of a Discoholic 66. Hi, Alan. You okay, mate? The best telling of the monkey's paw is in one of the episodes on the Orson Welles Great Mysteries. Yeah, I know. I've seen it and I love it. It's great, that one, isn't it? Yeah, the Orson Welles Great Mysteries. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That really captures the atmosphere of that. Yeah, that's a great one. That the monkey's paw. Tony Crosby, the waxwork segments in the House of Crypt Blood is great. Cushing acting is superb. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when he goes into the wax museum and that, yeah. And it's at the head of Salome, isn't it? In the wax museum and that. Oh, that's great, that one. Yeah. Love the House of Crypt Blood. Especially the one as a Christopher Lee, where he has the daughter and her mother was witch and that. Yeah, Grace. Simon Fillinfan, that one with the killer plant was fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I know the one you mean. Remember that one with Stephen King in It Grows on You from one of the Creep shows? That was quite fun. Richard Brown, favorite TV horror anthology series. Now this is going to be a difficult one. I like Thriller. I like the Hammer House of Horror. I like Rod Serling's The Twilight. I know, although that was more sci-fi fantasy, The Twilight Zone. I like the first series of Night Gallery. Yeah. Yeah, it's mainly Thriller, the House of, you know, the Hammer House of Horror. I didn't like the Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense. That was really disappointing. It really was, yeah. But oh yeah, definitely Thriller and the Hammer House of Horror. Fantastic. Chester 7, sorry, I meant Amicus, the Friendly Face of Fear by Dark Side. Oh, the Dark Side specials. Yeah, they're lovely, those books, aren't they? Yeah, I've got them all. Yeah, I believe that Alan Bryce, the editor, he's going to bring out another one, isn't he? Yeah, I think it's a slasher one. Oh, they're great. They've done a great job on those Dark Side specials. They really did. I love them. Brian Gilson, have you seen Phantoms starring Peter O'Toole, based on a D.N.R. Coons book? I've read the book years ago, but I don't remember too much about it. Years ago since I read it. I think I've seen a trailer of the movie Phantoms. Yeah, I haven't really read all that many of Dean Koontz' work, to be honest with you. He's written loads, though, hasn't he? Odd Thomas is one of his recent ones, isn't it? Odd Thomas. He made a series where you can see the dead people. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell you what I have bought recently, guys, talking about horror books, Stephen King's new novel, Fairy Tale. So I'm going to be starting that maybe tonight or over the weekend. And prior to that, I was reading a book called The Ruins. Have any of you heard of that book, The Ruins? He made a movie of it, but I got bored with it, so I cast that aside. If I don't get into a book in the first couple of chapters, I just cast it aside and go into the other one. I've got the movie downstairs with The Ruins. I'm going to watch that tonight, and I'll let you know what I thought of it. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to starting that King's Fairy Tale. Dr. Impossible. Well, I may watch Werewolf of London tomorrow night. I haven't seen it on DVD for a couple of years. Werewolf of London, that's the one with Henry Hull, isn't it? Yeah, the one that was made before Lon Chaney's Wolfman series. Tony's saying, wasn't the Outer Limits mostly sci-fi based? It was, yeah. It was primarily sci-fi. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of sci-fi, to be honest with you. Story's got to be very good, you know. One of my favorites, talking sci-fi, one of my favorites TV sci-fi episodes was the cookbook episode in the, the Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's Twilight Zone, where these aliens come to Earth and mankind thinks they're friendly first. Well, if you've seen the episode, you know what I mean. Mankind thinks they're friendly in that, and something to do with this book or something. And then when they're getting, a couple of the Earth people are going onto the spaceship. I don't remember everything that happens in it, but it sticks in my mind the part where the girl's research and thinks she's a secretary, and as the Earthlings are getting into the aircraft ready to go up to Mars or whatever, oh, she said it's not a book to help mankind. It's a cookbook. So what it was, the aliens were it was sort of like, she translated it, and it was like a recipe to eat humans and that. That's a great episode. That a real dark twist at the end. Yeah, it's a cookbook. Yeah. In other words, the Martians were taking the people up, and they're going to eat them. You know, once they got them to the planet. Yeah, there's some great episodes in that Rod Serling series. Simon Film Fan. Checkmate was decent with Susan George and Mystery and Suspense. Right. Richard Brown, you forgot to mention Beast. Oh yeah, Beast, yeah, from 1976, Nigel Neal, yeah. Oh yeah, I love Beast, yeah. Especially that episode, the haunted supermarkets. That's a great one, that. And during Barty's party with the rats and that. Oh yeah, Beast. Yeah. So, you see, when you're doing these lives, you're trying to think in your mind and that, and then something else pops up. Oh yeah, should have mentioned that one. It's like being on a quiz show, you know, when you're sort of like in front of the cameras and that. You're sort of like, you're struggling to answer, but when you're watching, it sort of like comes into your head and that, because you're more relaxed in that, and you're at home and that, and you start thinking, then everything comes into your head. But when you're on the spot, somebody asks you a question, you start thinking of the first series that come into your head, and of course the ones that quoted were my top ones and that. But yeah, thanks for reminding me about Beast. It's great, that one. Dr. Impossible, the outer limits in the 1960s was all sci-fi, but MGM remade it in the 1990s, and it crossed over into supernatural horror. Yeah. All right, Peace. Fantastic stream as usual. And thanks very much, Peace. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Have a great weekend, mate. Oh, you as well, Peace. Yeah. Have a nice time. Yeah. Have a nice weekend and that. And all going well. I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Thanks, Peace. Walk on, always believe. Sorry, Alan, I made a mistake. The shorter Inferno is on for 16 minutes, not 23 minutes, right? Simon Film Fan is saying, have you seen Quatermass with John Mills and the hippie planet people? No. Although I've just completed me Quatermass trilogy with Quatermass, the last Quatermass movie that was made in 1967. I've just arrived the other day, so I've got the 3 Quatermass Hammer movies now in my collection. I wasn't too keen on Quatermass 2. I didn't like that at all, but the first one and the third one were very good. And I'm going to be doing a Quatermass ratings video soon, guys, so watch out for that. Right. Brian is asking me, did you like Sapphire and Steel? I liked the episode with the haunted train station. I never really watched it, although I remember David McCallum was in it, wasn't he? I wasn't Joanna Lumley was a sidekick. I do remember Sapphire and Steel, but I never really watched it, so I can't really comment, unfortunately. Larry Fleetwood is saying Shadows of Fear, 1970 to 73. Shadows, 75 to 78. Dead of Night, great UK anthology series. Yeah. I had Shadows and Dead of Night. There was only 1 or 2 episodes I liked in them, Larry. To be honest, I liked the one with the one where it's a Jenny Ackesser. She goes to this, they missed the train, don't they, and go into this railway station, and it got like all old cuttings from years ago and that. And yeah, that's a good one. That they had to spend the night in this railway station, but it turns out that it's something to do with ghosts and that, and a train crash and that. That was my favourite episodes and that. But I have to admit, the others, Shadows of Fear, I don't think I've seen that one, but I've seen Shadows and I've seen Dead of Night. I wasn't too keen on Dead of Night, but yeah, a lot of people do like them. Yeah. Tony Crosby, have to go, mate. Had another bloody good time. Good night and have a groovy weekend, Alan, and fellow live chatters. Oh, thanks very much. So yeah, thanks for turning up. Have a nice weekend and all go well. I'll speak to you again in the next live stream. Take care, mate. Richard Brown, did you watch The Tomorrow People? I did. Yeah, I did watch it. Don't remember too much about it because I only watched it like when I was say about 11 or 12, but I do remember it. Did anybody remember Ace of Wands? Tarot, that was good. I used to love the song in that. Tarot, yeah. Ace of Wands, that was good, with Tony Selby, who was in who played Corporal Marsh and Gets Some In. Yeah, used to love Tarot, Ace of Wands. Yeah. Brian Gilson, have a great weekend, Tony. Walk on, always believe. Have you seen a vampire horror called The Girl Who Walks Home Alone at Night? No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things about it. If so, is it much cop? I have seen I have the Blu-ray, not seen it yet. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that. Yeah. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Dr. Impossible. Cheers, Tony. Brian is saying, was it the TV show Doomwatch that's at Robert Powell Battle Giant Rats? I don't know. I remember Doomwatch being on, but I don't recall ever watching an episode. Yeah, so we're going to go on for another 5 minutes, guys, anyway, so I'll try to get through as many questions and comments as I can. So just keep firing away, till 10:30. I've really enjoyed it tonight. I really have. And all going well, be back again next Thursday. Same time, same place. Yeah, really enjoyed it. I love talking about movies with you guys. I really do. It's movies has always been one of the well, I've loved movies right from when, since I've been knee high, love talking about movies, especially horror movies and that. And you can go into real stuff like, we get into a subject, what a lot of like-minded people like, you can have some real good discussions. Yeah, really enjoyed it, guys. Dr. Impossible, Doomwatch was pretty decent. Yeah. A girl walks alone is okay, a bit slow. Oh, right. Yeah, I'll have to check it out anyway. Doomwatch was Tygon. Doomwatch was a movie as well, wasn't it? So that was a Tygon production, yeah. But I do remember there was a series called Doomwatch and the movie as well, which I haven't seen. Has anybody seen a movie called Night of the Lepus? It's supposed to be about giant rabbits. Yeah. What's the name of that? Is it Judy Geeson? I'm sure Judy Geeson's in that, guys. Night of the Lepus. Has anybody seen it? Let me know what you thought of it. I haven't seen that one. The Owl Service, I wasn't too keen on that. I thought it was very slow. I was very disappointed with that. Both the book by Alan Garner and also the series that was screened, when I was it's basically about what? I must have been about 8 or 9 when I watched that. It used to be on a Sunday tea time, didn't it? Yeah, Alison was the main female protagonist, wasn't she? And this they find these plates, don't they, with this weird pattern around them. Yeah, it wasn't too. It was very, very slow. I was expecting something to happen in that, something really weird and frightening, but nothing really did. Really, all about Welsh legends and that, wasn't it? Yeah, it's very disappointing. Right. Joseph saying, what a fantastic night, Alan. Have a great weekend. Oh, thanks very much, Joseph, mate. I've really enjoyed it and that. Yeah, thanks for turning up and all going well. I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Yeah, have a great weekend, mate. Yeah, thanks again for turning up. Chestnut 7 is saying, heard of Night of the Lepus. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. Larry's saying Children of the Stones 1977 was a good series, also like the Stone tapes. Thanks, Alan. I've seen the Stone tape. I wasn't too keen on that, but I haven't seen Children of the Stones. I'll have to check that one out. Dr. Impossible, McCallum was flipping great in the HTV series of Kidnapped Brilliance. I haven't seen that one. I remember David McCallum being in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He's been in one of the episodes I've been watching in the night gallery. He was in one of them the other night. He played Ilya Kuryakin. Try saying that after a couple of pints. Ilya Kuryakin in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yeah, Elvin says, yes, Giant Rabbit with William Stewart. Yeah. Brian says, Night of the Lepus, really good movie. It has DeForest Kelly. Oh, Dr. McCoy from Star Trek in it, right? We've got 2 minutes, guys, anyway. So as I say, I'll whiz through the comments, as fast as I can. And, so by all means, just fire away. Ask me anything at all about horror anthologies and the like. Walk on, always believe. With my love for black and white, I tend to turn my colour down on my telly, right? To black and white. I must admit, it's not the same as genuine black and white films with its charm, right? A lot of those old black and white movies do have a certain charm, don't they? Yeah, I see they're bringing out all the Universal monster movies on 4K, aren't they? Yeah. Have any of you guys got them? How did they compare with the Blu-rays? Because I've heard mixed reviews about them. Some say they're not worth getting, and some say they are. Yeah, I'd be very interested to hear if any of you guys have upgraded, the Universal to 4K. Richard says, Night of the Lepers is a bit ridiculous. Oh, right, yeah. But sometimes they're good fun, those creature movies, as ridiculous as they are. You can get a lot of fun out of them. Anybody seen the Revenge of the Killer Tomatoes? Yeah, a bit wacky, that movie. I saw that on VHS in the was it the early 90s? That fella was in it, wasn't he? He played in the Addams Family. I forget his name. He was the more normal looking one in the Addams Family. I think he played the mad scientist, didn't he? Did he make about 3 or 4 of them? Killer Tomatoes. Yeah. Right then, guys, I'll be shooting off soon. So thanks very much again for turning up. Yeah, I really enjoyed it and that. And yeah, all going well. I'll be back again next Thursday, 8 o'clock. With another themed live stream and that. And it might be, as I said before, it could be on paranormal ghost movies next week. So if you've got any favorites, paranormal, haunted house, ghost movies, by all means, I say, get your questions ready, and I'd be very happy, to answer them and discuss. Brian is saying Werewolf by Night on Disney Plus getting released next month. Oh, right. Looks really good. It's in black and white and made like the Universal monster films. Is that Werewolf by Night? Is that from the Marvel comics? Because I used to get the Werewolf by Night Marvel comics, in the 70s. Is that the same one? And the Tomb of Dracula as well, I used to get. The Marvel Tomb of Dracula, yeah. Rock and roll hell. Catch you later. All right, mate. Yeah. Thanks for turning up. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, have a good weekend. And if you turn up next week, I look forward to chatting with you again. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Chestnut 7. Good night, Alan. Great show. Good night, everyone. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, really enjoyed talking to you again. Yeah, have a nice weekend, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you. Walk on. Always believe. The worst thing for a film to be is boring. Yeah. I'll take fun horrors any day, right? Yeah, I hate boring horror movies, especially with a lot of talk in them as well, and they make stupid decisions. Hate that. I'm just whizzing through the last few guys before I sign off. Simon, Network just announced a Blu-ray for our server, so they can keep that. I had the DVD and I plugged it on eBay. All right then, guys. So I'm going to go now. So thanks again for turning up. I've really enjoyed this discussion about Amicus Horror Anthology movies and similar anthology movies, and I hope the movies I've shown you all will inspire you, to check them out, and that, because they're great movies and that. Of course, apart from this one here, which should avoid like the plague. And as I say, this book here is very, very well worth getting if you love your anthology movies and that. Yeah, it's an absolute beauty, absolute mine of information on it Tales from the Crypt and that. Yeah. So yeah, so as I say, and if you do manage to get some new horror anthology movies, I hope they're good ones and that. And yeah, so all right then, guys. So yeah, so thanks again. Have a nice weekend, and all going well. I'll be back again next Thursday night at 8 with another live stream. Take care. Bye.